Houston Aeros worked the Bucks out in San Francisco last weekend and then got down to business. The Spiders tried to take the bite out of Houston, but the Aeros responded with one of their finest offensive showings of the year, winning 6-3. So here's today's tip. Shoot down the Komets, then hit the road. It's next here on Prime Sports. Live from the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. This afternoon, the Aeros take on the Fort Wayne Komets. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. The Aeros taking on the Komets, trying to avenge a 5-4 shootout loss. I'll tell you look at the Aeros injuries, and it's like a scene out of MASH. Where's Hawkeye Pierce when you need him? Maurice and Laniel could be available. Probably Maurice will play. Laniel, we don't know yet. Turgeon, Yo, and Shervin are definitely out of the lineup. And as I bring in Mike Greenlay, guys have had to pick it up because of all the injuries. And Scott Arniel, I thought, was the Aeros' best forward Friday.
He certainly did play a good game. He has 15 goals this year, so he's chipping in where he has to. And another place he's chipping in is on the power play. He's fourth on the team, and it's good to see Scott Arniel jumping in there, and as well as being on the line with Marc Freer. I hope these two guys can really get her going. And when you look at the way the Aeros played defensively, they shut down one of the Komets' top forwards, rookie in stature, and that's Konstantin Shafronov. Well, Konstantin Shafronov is 27 years old. He's played the last 5 years in the Soviet Union. He comes in and leads this team with 29 goals, 19 assists. Like, as you said, the Aeros shut him down last game. They're going to have to do that again tonight. And that takes us to our Oshman's game plan, and it's brought to you by Oshman Supersports USA. Greener? Well, first of all, the Aeros have to stay focused. They allowed goals right after they scored them last game. They're going to have to stay focused on that next shift. Second, back to the body. It's going to be a physical game anyways, so the Aeros are going to have to start by hitting the Komets and slowing them down. They have a pretty good transition game. And third, fatigue. With the flu and the injuries, some guys have had to play more than they're used to, and that's going to be a factor tonight. All right, in goal for the Fort Wayne Komets, Bob Essensa, and Rob Dobson makes his return in front of the Aero cage. When we return, Mike Greenlay chats with Aeros head coach Dave Tippett. That's next on Prime Sports. Houston Aeros hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car, take it to the star. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport, drink it up.
Welcome back to the Summit. Mike Greenlay along with head coach Dave Tippett. And Dave, Fort Wayne snuck out a little win there in the shootout 5-4 on Friday. And playing against them on Friday, what did you learn about that team that might help you tonight?
Well, they showed pretty much what we were thinking they were going to show. They're a very hard-working team. They play a pretty solid defensive game, and they make you earn everything you get. And they played pretty much just the way we expected. We were a little short in the lineup, but we had some guys come through and play a real strong game for us, and gave ourselves a chance to win. It's too bad we can get the win in the shootout, but we're looking forward to a better game tonight.
You speak about players that are coming through, and one of them that's come through for you time and time again is Carl Valimont, whether it's on defense or on the wing. Are we going to see him in goal next?
Yeah, Carl's played very well. He's a guy that he accepts his role, and his role as a utility player on this team, and it's an asset to be able to play, not just skate and do the little things, but to think the different positions. And he's done very well, and I put him in a lot of tough situations, like wing and penalty killing and on the power play. I mean, he's just done a great job for us, and hopefully he'll continue to do that.
Specialty teams are always such a big part of any game, and you were great on the penalty kill, except for that last goal. They were 1 for 5, and you were 2 for 5. Is that going to be a big thing on the stretch?
Well, it really is. We've been looking to improve our special teams, and that's the difference between winning and losing games a lot of nights. You can play a team even, and if your special teams beat them, you win the game. So that's something we'll try to continue to improve on and go from there.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and go get them.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros, and we'll be back to the Summit right after this.
Welcome to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay. We are set for the Aeros and the Fort Wayne Komets. Starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Colin Chin, Andy McBain with Alex Nikolic. And defensively, they will go with a unit of Wortman and McBain, and in goal Bob Essensa, who picked up the win Friday night for the Aeros. Their lineup consists of Mike Maurice back in the lineup, Graham Towns and Al Conroy with Donnelly and O'Connor, and in goal Rob Dobson making the start. One side note to Dobson's start: Troy Gamble backing him up tonight, which means this is the first time since Grant Sherman became a Houston Aero that these two guys are back together. So let's see what happens tonight. It is been a rough series for the Houston Aeros. As you can see, 1-4-1. Komets are 5-1 against Houston this year. Off the face-off, we're going to have a fight right off the bat. Gord Donnelly and Alex Nikolic. I don't know how this started, but these two are going to go right out of the bat. Donnelly leans in with a left and starts weighing away. Nikolic fired back with a right. Nikolic then lost his balance, and Donnelly went after him, and we're not even 4 seconds into the hockey game, and here we go.
Well, Adam, we talked about how physical this game was. I don't know if we necessarily meant in the fighting department, but I'm sure you'll see a lot of good hard hits tonight. But right off the bat, Nikolic and Donnelly probably had some words and went after each other. As the boys right off the bat are starting to set the tone. They know how important this game is, especially the Aeros. And you see on the left side of your screen, if you're enjoying the game on Prime Sports, that the guys get after it. You know, a lot of times the guys will talk right at the face-off, and they'll get a little perturbed at each other and say, let's go, as soon as the puck drops, and away they went.
Alex Nikolic didn't play Friday, but when the last time the teams had played in the Summit, I think Nikolic and Donnelly had a little bit of a bout, and I think this might be return engagement. As for those of you watching Prime, there's Stephane Auger, your referee, with Fred Huddy and Tim Atchison, your linesman.
The thing you'll find about tough guys in hockey is they're like elephants. They never forget.
Nope. Here's a puck that is taken by the Komets, and they'll move it up ice left to right. McBain. He'll bring it across the Aero line. It goes deep into the Aero zone, and O'Connor was there. He'll turn the near side, and a pass will go the length of the ice. Will it go down to Essensa? Yes, it will. That negates the icing. Now it's Shawn Cronin in behind his net, tied up by Townsend. Cronin shakes the check loose. A pass up the left side. Got through Jakes, who tumbled right into the linesman. We said go to the body, Jakesy, but not to the linesman. Here's the puck controlled by Hurd, but that will be an icing call. And they'll bring the faceoff back into the Fort Wayne zone.
Looks like Jakesy lost an edge there as Fort Wayne ices the puck. And Jakesy went right into the linesman.
Head coach Dave Tippett, kind of an interesting story with him. We've talked about the flu greener. It's going through everybody. And head coach Dave Tippett maybe bugged by it a little bit here. He said he wasn't feeling well, but wouldn't miss this game for the world.
Well, certainly not. I guess when you have to play, it's one thing. Coaching is a tough style of, well, there you just talk about tough coaching, and there's a tough style of coaching in Dave Farish. But most coaches will do anything they can to be on that bench. They want to take their team to hopefully a win, and I'm sure Dave Tippett and Dave Farish will be battling at it tonight.
Puck is in the Aero zone, and it's controlled by the Aeros. Hurlbutt swings it fire side. Left side Evans trying to work it down. We're going to have our first penalty of the afternoon as it's touched by Gord Krupke, and we're going to have a boarding minor coming up to the Houston Aeros, Gord Krupke, and he will go to the box, and we'll get a look at the Fort Wayne power play.
Actually, I think I saw Auger signal a hooking call, and it's going to be hooking on Krupke as he did put the body on the Fort Wayne Komets, but I think it's right on this play where he comes around the net, and I think he pulls down. I think it was Shafronov, and he's a good guy to pull down, but maybe not in that situation, as Krupke will take the first penalty of the game, the first penalty for Houston. And so Fort Wayne will go on the power play. They're a 1 for 5 last game. We'll see how they can do today.
It is Guy Dupuis off the left side. Dupuis at the point, getting set. Here's Evans, one-time shot, deflected away by Jakes. Picked up by Shafronov. Konstantin Shafronov to the right side of Murphy. Sets up along the boards. They work the puck around. Murphy down. Here is a centering pass, but stuffed away by Jakes. He will turn and bank it to the line, and it's out at center ice. Aeros nearly converged on it. Here's a puck that is controlled by Miles O'Connor and swung down the length of the ice. Bob Essensa will slow, and the Aeros making changes. Marc Lamb's another guy I'd like to watch just to keep an eye on how much ice time he would get, because he is battling the flu as well. I would say he's about 95% though. But anytime you're coming back from the flu, you're always going to be drained, whether you're a well-conditioned athlete or not. Puck is back in the Fort Wayne zone. They've got 1:08 to go on their power play, and Guy Dupuis wants to restart the breakout. Dupuis, he'll move it up ice. His pass to the left side of Evans. Evans will dump the puck into the Aeros zone. Back to play at Laniel. Chipped it away. Came to the near wall, and the Aeros jump on it. And here's Marc at neutralized. Lost the puck, and Paul Willett takes over. Willett across the line. Dropped it back. Evans cross-ice pass. Here's Mitch Messier cutting right in. Work behind the net. Now the pass taken away by Lamb, and the Aeros are up ice. Here comes Al Conroy. A couple of guys to beat, so he'll just rip the shot. Heads up. Oh! Heads up, that thing came smoking into the crowd, and luckily everybody in that section was alert as Al Conroy really getting loose. So the face-off will be brought back to center. Power play down to 35 seconds. 2.5 gone in the first. We're scoreless.
I know you talked about Marc Lamb early, and one of the things that one of the true tests, I guess, is to see him out there on the penalty kill, because everyone knows that you play things like the power play, the penalty kill, and then a regular shift. That's definitely a full scale test to see whether you're back into it, and he was out there regularly, so hope to see him out there quite often, as it looks like he might be back into condition to play this game.
But two guys we're also going to watch and a little closely. We will have ice times updated for you on Marc Freer and Scott Arniel tonight. Here is Paul Willett. He'll move to center. Knocked off the puck by Freer, and he'll gently scoop it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Chased down by Brian Straub. Straub will head back behind the net, and he'll set up the rush. Straub, quick pass to Kevin Wortman. Played a terrific hockey game for the Komets on Friday. Dumped the puck into the Aeros zone. Knocked away by Laniel, and shot the length of the ice. That should do it for Krupke. He's down to 5 seconds in his penalty. Paul Willett moving it up ice. He'll bring it across the line as Krupke back out on the ice. Penalty is over. Aeros have killed it off. Krupke bats it ahead. Freer trying to advance the puck. He's got a chance. Freer right side. Pushed into the boards by Kevin Wortman, but got the puck into the Fort Wayne end. Jakes with the first one there. Jakes behind the net, trying to center the pass. It was knocked away by Straub. Jakes back to the line. Krupke winding, shooting, stopping his Essensa. Back to the line. It's Krupke again. Make it Berg rather. Here's the shot line. I thought it was 33. It's 23. Bob Berg that let the shot go. And it's picked up by Smith and worked back into the arrow end.
Well, both of them are very big men, and Berg has really thrown his body around well since being here, starting last Friday with the Aeros signing a 25-game trial.
Here's Shawn Cronin at center across the arrow line. Cronin centered one. It got through skates, and it's back to center. Sergei Stas, who was a scratch Friday, dumps the puck in. Stas has got it into the arrow zone, but it's now Jakes looped it ahead to center to Kelly Hurd. He'll dump the puck in. It goes into the Fort Wayne zone where Essensa slowed behind the cage. Jammed ahead to the line, not out. Here's Krupke trying to center one, batted away. Krupke again, looped one right in. Oh, a bouncing puck that Essensa had trouble with, but it was knocked away, and Pat Elynuik will clear to center. He got the game-winning goal in the shootout. As the puck is worked ahead at center, but the Komets will regroup it. Shawn Evans at his own blue line. Pass to Elynuik, tipped away by Hurlbut. Now Guy Dupuis shoots it into the arrow zone, and Dobson will slow. Krupke jammed it along the near side. Shafronov to the line. Dupuis the shot, and a glove save made by Dobson. He'll hold on, and we take time out. 15:31 to go in the first. A scoreless hockey game from the Summit. We'll be right back, but first this word from Southwest Airlines.
Welcome back to the Summit. Komets Aeros, no score with 15:31 left in the first period, and Dave Parrish, head coach of the Fort Wayne Komets. He's a very tough competitor. Actually, look at him, he's in probably better shape than 3/4 of his players.
Oh. Here's a guy, as the puck goes into Dobson, here's a guy that before each practice and each game I see him riding the bike in the hallway.
He definitely has a very tough-minded coaching style, and you can see that in his players.
Puck is at center ice, and the Komets have it right side. Shafronov trying to move it in. Conroy chased it down in his own zone, flipped it off the boards. It'll bounce back to the line. Dupuis had to check up on him, and the Aeros trying to move it ahead. Here is Maurice back in his first game after a chip in his hip. Easy for me to say. Puck comes out at center. He had a chip bone or a little bit of a fracture or something in his hip that sat him out for a week or so, a couple weeks. Here is Rob Murphy across the line. Ripped the shot, and that is deflected way up and back of the Summit, the lower bowl of the Summit. It's another souvenir with 14:46 to go. And a scoreless hockey game. Shawn Evans right there. Tell you what, here's a guy that was always a top offensive defenseman with the Milwaukee Admirals last year, but he is tied for 6th in scoring, or tied for 5th, I should say, in scoring in the IHL amongst defensemen. And he has been a terrific acquisition for this Fort Wayne Komet Hockey Club. Faceoff comes back into the Aeros zone. I like the start the Aeros have got here in the first 5.5 minutes.
You talk about Evans, you'll see him on the power play for Fort Wayne as he did on that first power play they saw, but wasn't able to generate any offense for the Aeros as the for the Komets as the Aeros killed off a power play early.
Puck is in the Houston zone. Darren Smith tied up by Jakes. Puck came back to the line. Can Slivchenko clear? No. Held by Straub. Looped it down. Willett and Freer battle in the corner. Now it's Mitch Messier. Messier behind the cage playing peekaboo. Stuffed one right out there, but it was blocked. Laniel shouldered Messier off the puck. And here come the Houston Aeros. Slivchenko with some room. He's out there with Freer and Arniel. Slivchenko's got it 3-on-2 to Freer across the line. Freer cutting in. Centered! Oh, it rolled off the stick of Arniel. A marvelous execution of a 3-on-2. And just Scott Arniel had the puck right where he wanted. Just couldn't quite get the stick around the defenseman. And the Aeros nearly got one in on Essensa.
So often we see it's Arniel setting up Freer. This time it's the other way around. Freer feeds it across the net, and just that extra little push in front by Brian Straub got Arniel off the puck. Otherwise, he'd have had a good scoring chance there as Freer feeds it across the goal mouth, and Essensa comes across nicely, and Arniel just gets a bit of the backhand on it, and Essensa finally freezes it. A good job to see the Aeros breaking in there and making things happen, and that's what you're going to see is if you see guys like Arniel breaking towards that net.
Face off to the left side of Essensa. Lamb with Hurd and Berg. Defensively, Laniel and Jakes. Aeros win the draw. Jakes right side moving down, trying to get it through Cronin. Went to the corner for Wortman. Jammed to the near side, and McBain has got it for Fort Wayne. Here come the Komets. The pass is shoveled ahead into the Arizona. Bouncing puck that Jakes controls. The pass to Lamb. Overskated. Here comes McBain across the line, but he did not know that his teammate was trapped. It was Colin Chin that was in ahead of the play. That is offsides, and the faceoff comes back to center with just over 6 minutes gone in the first. We're scoreless. It has been a tight Eastern Conference for both squads, if you will. Fort Wayne in a battle with Indianapolis right now, and really not out of it as far as the second spot with Michigan, and that's in the Northern Division. But the Aeros in the Central, they're in the cellar, but 9 back of Atlanta. The Knights are idle this evening, so after tonight's game, the Knights will have 2 games at hand, and it will set up a big contest tomorrow at the Omni, the Aeros and the Atlanta Knights. And that game can only be heard on KPRC Radio. What a game that'll be. Look forward to bringing that to you tomorrow night. Puck is out at center ice. Kevin Wortman chased it down to his own blue line, and the Komets take over. Pass up the right side, but it's worked away by Jakes and into the Fort Wayne zone. Scoreless from the Summit. And here's Shawn Cronin. Pass ahead for Wortman, nearly intercepted by Lamb, but Jakes got a hold of it in his part of center ice. And here's Laniel. Pass to the near side. Berg. Aeros trying to advance it, but the Komets knocked it away. Right now, the game kind of played between the lines a little bit. No one really getting it into the zone, and finally, Jakes has had enough. Dumped it into the Fort Wayne zone. Berg trying to center one. Knocked away by Essensa. Lamb battling in there with Colin Chin. Good battle for the puck. Cronin came in there rather. And it was pushed away by Chin and back out at center ice and into the arrow end it goes. Puck chased down by O'Connor. Miles O'Connor trying to come up and out of his zone. He was watched by Elynuik. And Gord Donnelly is there. Back out on the ice after his 4-second shift. And then he went into it a little bit with Alex Nikolic. Conroy across the line. Lost the puck and Dupuis cleared. Out at center for Elynuik. Hits the line with Murphy. Here's Murphy left side. Returning the pass. Knocked away. Loose in front. The shot fanned on. Loose in the slot. They bang away at the puck. And finally the Aeros knocked it away and they'll scamper to center ice. Al Conroy right side. Dumped the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Chased down by Dupuis. Cleared along the boards but knocked down by Graham Townsend. Townsend centered one. It hit skates and Murphy cleared to center. Now it's Shafronov across the arrow line. Shafronov trying to pull the trigger, but O'Connor takes over. It's Miles O'Connor, the pass to the left side for Al Conroy. Trying to feather one ahead. Here comes Conroy. Conroy across the line for Houston. Split the defense, pass back to the line for Townsend. Danced the line, centered one, but knocked away by Evans. And here's a chance for Willett. A man to beat Hurlbutt. Willett into the slot, shoots, Dobson a stick save. 8 minutes gone in the first in a scoreless hockey game. In behind the net it is Mike Hurlbutt. A pass to Arniel. Jammed it back along the boards, and Sergei Stas is there to work it into the arrow end. Dobson slowed behind the cage. Krupke takes over. Krupke feathered the pass too far for Hurlbutt. Arrows have to regroup. Hurlbutt's pass came to Townsend. It's back to neutral ice, and it goes into the Fort Wayne zone. Krupke shoots it into the Fort Wayne end. We've got 11:34 to go in the first. Still no score. Straub checked hard into the boards by Arniel. Komets clear it. Laniel's got it and then looks for some room to skate. He's got Colin Chin on his case. Puck is worked back in toward the arrow zone though. Steve Jakes. Give it to Laniel. Pass ahead. Stas knocked it free. And the Komets turn it around. It is Colin Chin into the arrow end. Back to play Arniel. Arniel trying to work it ahead, and he was belted by Nikolic. And Arniel down on top of the puck, and then he spun it right over to Chin, but Freer got it back. Freer's pass for Slivchenko. Whoa! Looked like a sniper in the building. Shot him, and down he went. Now the puck goes in. It was knocked away by Laniel, and then Freer having a little trouble. Somebody find that sniper and get him out of here. Guys are going down. Puck along the far boards. It's controlled by Nikolic, trying to get the puck along the boards. He's tied up by Bob Berg, who came in to throw his weight around. Battle for it along the boards. Murphy now takes getting into it with Nikolic. Are they going to go? Well, Nikolic looking like he wanted to go, but it looks like the cooler heads have prevailed. There's a timeout on the ice. Scoreless from the Summit. 10.5 to go. Back after this.
Back at the Summit, no score, 10:38 remaining in the first, and Dave Tippett's got his team playing good defensively as the puck's right in front there. You see Donnelly get the body on the man, and then Townsend get back checking on Shafronov, who is no slouch himself. Shafronov leads their team in scoring with 29 goals, and you know, you talk about the guys working well defensively, and that's what's been part of their success. And then we have a penalty on Nikolic as he shoves down Jakes, and then the guys go at it, and eventually it'll be Nikolic that gets the penalty for roughing. And so the Aeros see their first power play action of the game.
Here's Mike Hurlbutt. He'll take it top of the slot. Let the shot go. And a blocker save made by Essensa. You'll remember it was Mike Hurlbutt that started things off Friday night with his power play goal. Hurlbutt jambling back behind the net. Here's out Conroy to the corner. Conroy trying to get away from the check of McBain. Conroy looking for the pass. Came to the line. Lamb. Good to have him back out there for the power play. Conroy, hash marks left side. Back to the line. Lamb playing back and forth. Conroy slides it down for Kelly Hurd. Hurd against his former teammates, the Fort Wayne Komets, along the left side. Conroy sets up. Arniel is camped in front. Conroy winding, shooting, and Essensa down and making the save. So the Aeros working it around the perimeter, but there was Bob Essensa to make the stop. We're halfway through the first period, scoreless, 1:26 left in the Nikolic minor.
The Aeros 15.6% on the season, 14th in the IHL, and Essensa made a pretty good save there as Conroy picked up the puck eventually and didn't really have anywhere to pass to, so he decided to walk and take it himself. He'll get the puck and he'll walk around the top of the circle and say, hey, you're going to give me a lane to shoot it? I'm going to take it. And he almost slides it between Essensa's legs.
Face off to the right side of Bob Essensa. And it's Conroy still with Hurd and Arniel. Lamb and Hurlbutt defensively. Rob Murphy is out there to take the face off with Andy McBain. Defensively, Brian Straub against out there defensively with Guy Dupuis. Lamb wins the draw. It was tipped to Conroy, and the Aeros will set it up. Marc Lamb in the corner for Arniel. Arniel was shouldered off the puck. They battle for it. Straub behind the cage. Kick far side. Hurlbutt trying to hold. Hurlbutt gives the puck to Lamb. Lamb along the right side getting set. Lamb trying to get it down for Arniel. Aeros have 1:06 on the power play. Marc Lamb with a puck along the base of the circle. Got it back to the line for Hurlbutt. Hurlbutt's pass came right back to Arniel. The Aeros cycling the puck okay, but just not getting into prime scoring position yet. Here is Lamb to Arniel. Step shot blocked by Essensa. They bang away at it, and Lamb got it back. Here's Hurlbutt, who wanted to tee it up. He had a bouncing puck. Lamb at the hash marks. Hash marks for Lamb trying to cut in. Lamb to the line. Hurlbutt winding, shooting. Oh, big save by Essensa. Why? Hurlbutt had one of those patented low, hard screamers that looked like perhaps Essensa was slightly screened on, but Bob Essensa making the save.
Well, Essensa has to look around people to stop this shot, and Hurlbutt just fires one, and it also comes over top of that player that dropped to block the shot, and Essensa had to be sharp on that to keep that one out of the net. He made a good pad save, and more importantly, he covered it up afterwards. A lot of times goaltenders will try and clear that, but it was smart of him to cover that up, as Hurlbutt's got a pretty good hard slap shot, and he used it right there.
You could say he definitely hurled that one on ice. Big drive there. Puck back to the line. It is Laniel to the shot. Stick save made by Essensa. Puck scooped away by Chris Winnis, and he will romp the center. Here comes Winnis shorthanded across the line. Winnis looking right in. Centered, but knocked away by Laniel. Winnis got it back, though. Winnis still killing off power play time. Shot at the center for Shawn Cronin, and he'll fire it back into the Aeros zone. Down to 17 seconds on the power play. Marc Laniel in behind the net. He'll move the puck up ice. It is Laniel through the neutral zone. Ripped the puck in. Essensa out to slow. It got through him a little bit, but he was able to chip the puck away to Willett. Takes a bump from Townsend. Behind the net, it's Freer. Ooh, given a check from Cronin, but stays with the puck. Freer centered, but it was knocked away, and Cronin cleared it. The penalty is over. Teams are at 5 aside. O'Connor will chase the puck in his own zone. He's got Nikolic on it. Nikolic gave a pretty good two-hander, and then it was O'Connor drilled to the boards by another Comet. It was Chris Winnis. Play going on in the the arrow end. It is Miles O'Connor. Shot the puck ahead to Slivchenko with some room at center. Shafronov couldn't knock him off the puck. Now Slivchenko with some room to wheel. Shoots! And a right pad save made by Bob Essensa. He will hold on and we take a timeout. 8:12 to go in the first. The Aeros nothing. The Komets nothing. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Summit. No score as the Aeros just finished their first power play of the game. And, you know, periodically over the game, we're going to try and grade these power plays. And we gave them a yes on everything. Puck movement was very good. Shooting, they got some good shots. Continuous pressure. They were in the zone, but they really didn't get enough pressure to get a goal. The composure was great. We're giving them a yes on the overall execution because they did do a good job. And this proves good for maybe next time they get a power play. Maybe next time they'll be able to find the net.
Yeah, with the continuous pressure, it was one of those where you'd like to see maybe a few more shots to test Essensa. They had like 2 good ones, and that was about it. Here's a chance in front, swatted away, and the Komets are out at center ice. Puck goes in. Dobson knocked it down. His pass cleared off the boards, not knocked away, and then it's back out at center. Wortman trying to work it ahead. Maurice took it away. Maurice had it stripped though by Wortman, and now Shafronov left side. Konstantin Shafronov dropped it back. Elynuik. Here's a chance for Evans. He gathered in the puck center. Here's the shot. Stopped in front. Great defensive play by O'Connor. The puck never got to Dobson. Now it is Maurice at center. Fired it into the Fort Wayne zone. Evans goes back as he's pursued by Valimont on for his first shift of the night. Guess where he is? Yes, the left wing. Here is Fort Wayne's Pat Elynuik at center ice. He'll work the puck ahead to Colin Chin. Chin ripped the shot. It hit the skates of Gord. Down in front, the puck taken back by Krupke, and here come the Aeros to center. Bob Berg through the neutral zone. Berg across the line, dumped the puck in, hard after it, and Essensa will take no chances. He will cover up and hold on with 7:09 remaining in the first. We are scoreless from the Summit. Bob Essensa, I thought really wasn't as much of a factor Friday night's game as he has been in the previous meetings. Essensa tonight getting the start though because of the win, and I'll tell you, Bob Essensa, quality goaltender, played of course with the Winnipeg Jets for a long time and then was traded to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for Tim Cheveldae.
Both quality goaltenders, and Essensa is showing his worth. His 10 saves tonight, but he's really had a great month of January, and he's starting off February pretty good as well.
Krupke has it off the draw. The shot hit Lamb, who was down. Murphy bats it away, but Krupke got it back. Right side getting set. He's got Darren Smith on his case. In there, Kelly Hurd chipped it behind the net for Bob Berg. Berg waiting. Now tipped it back to the line for Hurd, but can't get the shot away. Wing down low. Straub is there. Ryan Straub trying to fire it through Berg. In there, Krupke lunging for the puck. Nice play there. Hurd held it in. Whatever it takes to hold a puck in, I guess. You got to pay the price. And we get a whistle with 6:40 remaining.
The original whistle went, and I think the players didn't hear it as one of the Fort Wayne Komets, I think it was Brian Straub, tried to take and go down the wing. Good job by Krupke laying the body. We talked about that in the pregame, about how important the body is going to be in this game, because it's already going to be a physical game, and there's going to be a lot of stuff after the whistles, which we haven't seen a lot of yet, but I'm sure you will as the game grows on. Gord Krupke still looking for his first goal of the season, but has done excellent since coming back off that injury.
Krupke, I liked him better with a goatee. You know,
he looked meaner.
Yeah, he really looked meaner. I mean, the thing is, I also like the idea in some ways without it, because then people look at him and think, oh, this is a nice guy, and then they get into his house, and it's not going to happen. Krupke, I'll tell you another story about him when we get a second here. Puck is controlled, and it's a 2-on-1 the other way. McBain across the line. Shot on, and there was Dobson to make the save. And Jakes cleared it ahead. That'll go the length of the ice. Will it be icing? They say yes, it will, as it's played by Wortman. And they weren't sure, the linesmen weren't sure what the call was going to be, but it will be an icing call. But going back to Gord Krupke, Kevin Grant is a scratch night also, but those two guys, you usually expect them to be physical and really a physical presence on the ice, but both of them were kind of bitten by the flu bug earlier in the week and were not 100% Friday night, and you could kind of see that a little bit in wondering how fatigued they might have been after that hockey game.
Well, a lot of times it's fatigue too, but you know, when you have the flu, the last thing you want to do is run into anybody. Those guys definitely are two of the more physical defensemen, along with guys like Gord Donnelly, who was real physical right off the draw tonight, as we saw as he went at it with Nikolic. But it's good to see the Aeros being physical in general. It, like I said earlier, it opens up some lanes on the ice there for them.
They decided that it wasn't icing, and they bring the face-off to center. And it is Scott Arniel through the neutral zone. Dumped the puck into the far corner. Sean Cronin was there. He had Slivchenko on him, and now McBain takes over right side. Give it to Cronin, trying to move behind the net. Freer trying to work him off the puck. It slammed ahead to Willett. He had it pushed up to McBain and back into the Aeros zone. It will go. Steve Jakes. Long pass misses Freer. This will be icing as Sean Evans goes back, and then they wave it off. So I don't know. I'm having a little trouble reading the linesmen tonight. They're not making the true calls like I thought they would be. That looked like an icing call. Play moving on. Here's Elynuik across the line. Back to the left side. Evans centered one, went wide of the net. Now they fight for it. O'Connor in there with Elynuik. Arniel giving his 2 cents worth and finally chipped it to the far side. It is Slivchenko. Moved it along the boards, trying to get it through O'Connor. It was taken back. There's a centering pass. Shot right on. I think Dobson got a piece of that. Big drive from Rob Murphy. He had gone down, it looked like a split second late, and then another shot right on Dobson. Save, rebound! Dobson down, covering up, had another great chance, was Pat Elynuik, but Rob Dobson, a terrific save in front after everybody had collapsed around the goal crease. He will hold on.
Dobson doing a good job there. You know, originally Dobson got caught in what a lot of goaltenders deem as fishing, because right off the bat, he put his stick behind the net to try and get the puck, and they got a shot. But then this shot comes, and he gets on the rebound, and eventually they pile up in front as Dobson covers up. That's his first action really tonight. He hasn't really seen a lot of shots tonight. This is probably his first, second, and third shots right there, and he handled them pretty good. You know, a lot of goaltenders, especially big goaltenders, do not like that scrambly kind of game. They like to really see a lot of shots, but Dobson being credited with 7 saves tonight, but really hasn't seen a lot of action as we deem it.
That was his toughest test of the night. Here's a shot right on, and then drizzled wide of the net. And we're going to get a penalty to the Houston Aeros. I think. It looks like a hole.
Well, I mean, it might be on Krupke, it could be on Hurl, but it looks like it's going to be on Hurl. But as I think maybe Fort Wayne Komet in front of the net had a chance at dumping that puck in, but if Hurl wraps his arms around it, actually it's going to be Krupke. It was right the first time, as it looks like Krupke had to wrap his arms around someone to stop that puck from going in the net. The original shot was kind of a end over ender, and eventually the puck's in front, and I think that's a pretty good call, and it's a pretty good job. Actually, it was Hurlbut who did get his stick around him, but for some reason they're calling Krupke. So I'm really mixed up. Let's put them both in the box, then we'll be safe. But Gord Krupke is going to get the holding call, but actually it looked like Hurlbut that was doing a little bit of the holding in front of the net, trying to stop the Fort Wayne Komets from getting that goal, but the Aeros are going to have to kill this one off regardless.
Aeros did a good job on the first one, killing that off, and the Komets go back. We are scoreless. Fort Wayne on their second power play of the night, and here they come. Brian Straub up and out of his zone to Colin Chin, speeding across the line. He's got Willett cutting into the net, but couldn't get the pass away, and then Chin lost an edge. But then Workman, the shot, stopped by Dobson, rebound, and the Aeros are able to shoot it the length of the ice. 1:33 left to Krupke, scoreless hockey game.
You saw that shot. There was lots of room. The Komets are going to want to score on something like that. They're going to have to get some bodies in front.
Messier hits the line, shooting it in. It got by Jakes. Messier flings it behind the net, looking for Konstantin Shafronov, but the Aeros shoot it right back down the ice. It's into the Fort Wayne zone, and the Komets will regroup. It is Kevin Wortman taken to the boards by Arniel, but now controlled by Straub. 4:08 to go in the first. We're scoreless. 1:06 to Krupke. Elynuik. Rink wide pass to Shafronov, back to Elynuik. Elynuik streaking left side, dropped it for Murphy. Can't get the shot away as he's got Freer looming around. Rob Murphy tipped it behind the net, but it was worked away from Shafronov. Aeros can't clear. Here's Pat Elynuik right side. Elynuik getting set on the power play. To Sean Evans, waiting. Over to the one-time shot by Dupuis, and he spanked that wide. And it was smacked the length of the ice after that. Into the Fort Wayne zone. It is Sean Evans. Wings the pass to Dupuis. Now Murphy across the line into Aero territory. And Shafronov cutting in. Centered. Dobson, pushed it into his own net, I think. He had made the save, and then it got behind him, and it's a goal for the Fort Wayne Komets. A power play goal, and they lead it 1-0.
You think that might have gone off Conroy in front of the net, because they were looking at each other a little bit. Either that or Dobson was trying to see the far side of the net, and I think it might have even gone off Conroy's skate as that puck was coming out towards the top of the crease. It's centered, and it looks like it was deflected in off Conroy's skate. A tough break as Dobson was trying to come across the far side to take away the back door, and I'm not sure who's going to get credit for it. Likely the Fort Wayne Komets was passing it out of the corner, But either way, the Komets lead it 1-0 on a power play goal.
Here is Sergei Stas. I think it went cleanly off Dobson. I don't know. That's a tough angle. It looked like it went off Dobson. We got an icing call on Fort Wayne, but we'll sort this all out when we return. Regardless, it's a 1-0 Comet lead off a power play goal. 3:19 to go, and we're back after this.
Back at the Summit, Komets lead it 1-0 on a power play goal. Very freak goal, if that. It was passed out of the corner by Shafronov, and we still can't figure out whether that went off Conroy's skate or hit Dobson in the leg and went in. It doesn't matter which happened because the Komets get the power play goal regardless, as most goaltenders do not like to have a goal like that go in on them.
You know, they did a good job on Shafronov Friday night. He had only one shot, no points, but I'll tell you, he gets the one shot here, and it is a goal. Not the greatest goal. Off the face-off, here is Fort Wayne. Darren Smith wings it the length of the ice. And back to get it, it's Steve Jakes, and another icing call coming up to Fort Wayne. 3:11 to play in the first. Fort Wayne leads at 1-0.
Steve Jakes playing a good, tough hockey game. And, you know, you talked about Shafronov getting only the one shot last game and not getting any points. Well, when a guy banks one in off either your goaltender or one of your players, there's not too much you can do to defend against that. And so Shafronov showing why in some cases he leads the team in scoring, and that's because sometimes you get the goals that other people just don't seem to find.
Face off in the circle to the left side of Bob Essensa. Lamb with Berg and Kelly Hurd. Laniel defensively paired with Jakes. Colin Chin to take the draw against Marc Lamb. A couple of good face-off men here. Sticks down, top of the puck, and Lamb wins the draw. Trying to move it cleanly along the boards, but Chin knocked it away. Chin in the corner for Brian Straub. And here come the Komets. Sergei Stas, right side pass from McBain, came out at center. Hurd took them both down. And it's back into the Fort Wayne zone. Straub has it back along the left side. Lamb sized him up, and then the puck is cleared to center. Aeros trying to advance it, and Kelly Hurd bats it into the Komet end. 2:50 to go, and Fort Wayne leads it on a power play goal from Konstantin Shafronov. 1-0. It is out at center ice, and the Aeros Steve Jakes trying to wind it ahead. Stas is there. Stas at center, threw it right off the entrails of Chris Winnis, and Jakes took him to the boards. Back is Stas at his own blue line. The pass ahead, and Darren Smith couldn't advance it, and another try for Brian Straub. This hasn't been quite the end-to-end game that we saw Friday. A Straub shot and a blocker save made by Dobson. Jakes cleans it off the boards. That'll go all the way down the ice, and the Komets are there. No icing. It didn't have enough momentum to clear the end line. Shawn Cronin, he'll seek refuge behind that, then reverse the puck up the boards. It snapped to center ice, and it's Alex Nikolic. Nikolic across the line, looking for Messier, going to the net. Nikolic's drive deflected away by Hurd. Puck slicing up over the glass and out of play. 2:02 to go in the first, and the Komets leading this hockey game by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, we are seeing quite a more defensive hockey game than we did the other night on Friday. I mean, after the first period, the score was 3-2 for Fort Wayne. And so tonight, it looks like both teams have decided to take care of their own end first. And if you subtract that awkward goal by Shafronov that was scored on Dobson by behind the goal line, and like I said, I'm not sure whether it went off Conroy or whether Dobson kicked it in himself, but Fort Wayne leads it 1-0 in a tight game.
Here's Paul Willett, a drive and a stick save made by Dobson. Dobson smacks it back to the line, held in by Cronin. It went into the corner to the right side of Dobson. Fling behind for Messier. Conroy on him. They battle behind the net. Nikolic trying to dig it out. Krupke pushed him to the boards. Krupke and Nikolic battling some more. It is Mitch Messier. Shanks off the check of Conroy. Messier, left circle, trying to get through Conroy. Messier, good job of stick handling. Gives it to Willett behind the cage. Willett trying to move it through. Conroy's got him tied up. Finally, Conroy worked it ahead, and the Aeros, will they be able to clear? Yes, they will. They're going to go back into the Fort Wayne end of center ice, but it's taken back by Kevin Workman. Shot ahead to Cronin, and the Aeros have to go back into their own zone. 1:15 to play in the first. Fort Wayne leads it 1-0. Puck along the far board. Slivchenko, he'll bat that down the ice. They say it was touched by a Komet, though no icing, even though Essensa plays it. Guy Dupuis to the right side for Elynuik. His pass knocked away and intercepted by Vadim, then taken back by Rob Murphy. Speeding over the arrow line, dropped it Evans for the shot, and that went off Dobson. He got a piece of it. Puck to the near side. Elynuik in a battle. It's shot ahead, and here come the Aeros. Maurice lead pass got through Dupuis, and he knocked it away. They tried to find Slivchenko springing down the left wing. At center ice, here is Pat Elynuik, and he is unloaded on with a big hit hip check from Miles O'Connor. Puck is centered, knocked away by Gord Donnelly. Now on the boards, it is Pat Elynuik, and we have another penalty coming up. It is going to be a holding minor with half a minute remaining in the first period, and the Komets lead it by a score of 1-0. And I think the Komets are going to get a penalty here, and it's going to be Konstantin Shafronov. I'll tell you, moments ago, Miles O'Connor looked like old-time hockey.
Certainly does. Elynuik picks up the puck and he comes down the wing and stepping up on the play. I think maybe Elynuik had his head down a little bit because Miles O'Connor certainly had the step on him, and he really gave it to Elynuik. And later on in the play, Shafronov pulled down one of the Houston Aeros, and so the Aeros themselves will have a chance on the power play. It's their second of the period, and they'll get a chance to go on the board. They did a good job last power play, getting a few good shots on Essensa. They'll have to put that kind of pressure on them again if they plan on scoring.
It is Shawn Cronin in his own end. We're down to 28 seconds. Here come the Aeros on the power play. Kelly Hurd across the line, and that'll cost him a face-off out at center ice.
Majority of the penalty, unless they score, will be into the beginning of the second period. They're 0 for 1 tonight with 5 shots, as we mentioned. Dave Tippett, I'm sure, would have liked that penalty to come with maybe 2 minutes left or beginning of that second period. It's always tough to have a power play split up between periods like that, because you have a chance to go into the locker room and the other team gets a chance to rest, and you have to regroup. You have about 1:30 coming back into the second period.
Off the draw, it is Mike Hurlbutt, slides one to Marc Lamb. Aeros with enough time to maybe set it up for one rush. Lamb chipped one into the Fort Wayne zone. Conroy chased it down. Conroy in the corner, flings it to an open corner. And far side, Hurlbutt got there, and then it was shot through him, and that will be the period. We're down to 8 seconds, and Lamb back to his own blue line. Fired it ahead at center for Arniel, and Conroy is there, and that will be the first period. Guy Dupuis had it. There is the buzzer to end 20 minutes of action. A very good 20 minutes of action, and it was a fluke goal by Konstantin Shafronov. We're not sure if it went off Conroy or Dobson, but we do know it went into the net, and it is a 1-0 Fort Wayne lead. When we return, we will chat with Kelly Hurd of the Houston Aeros. That is next. We're back after this. Back at the Summit, first intermission, the Houston Aeros trailing the Fort Wayne Komets by a score of 1-0. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenley, and a terrific defensive period for the Houston Aeros, even though a fluke goal.
Yeah, Shafronov banked that one in off of we don't know what yet, but he still banked it in the net, and it was a power play goal, but not really a true test of how the Aeros did, because they did have a pretty good defensive period.
You know what, perhaps Kelly Hurd knows. Kelly Hurd is standing by. Kelly, on that goal, I don't know if you saw it. Did it go off Al Conroy or was it off Dobson?
Actually, it went off both. It first started off shot from the corner, and a Dauber went to deflect it, so their player couldn't play it in front, and unfortunately it deflected off of Al Conroy and went in.
Now, of course, playing against your former teammate, the Fort Wayne Komets, you still get up for these games?
Yeah, you got to get up for every game. You know, it's a lot of fun playing against the guys. You know, I played there 4 years, and I got a lot of friends there, but those guys are friends off the ice and not on the ice, so that's the way I take it.
Kelly, you mentioned that you've played for these guys before, and you played for them in '92-93 when they won the Turner Cup, and then the next year when they went to the finals. Do you think that the Aeros have the kind of chemistry that it takes to make it to the playoffs and then go somewhere?
Well, sure, all it takes, you know, is you know, last part of the season, I guess getting along good, and you know, kind of a rush towards the playoffs. We did it in Fort Wayne when we won the Turner Cup, and I don't know if you're kind of slashing on me there, Greener, about the next year when we lost out, you playing goal, but you know, we had a run at the end there again, and you know, that's what it takes. All the guys got to get together, and you know, just the end of the season rush is all it takes. You
know, Greener was talking about team chemistry, and with all the injuries that are going on right now, guys either banged up or the flu, has it been tough as of late trying to get some team chemistry established here in the last couple of weeks?
Well, sure. You know, you see a guy like Carl Valimont playing right wing, left wing defense. Myself, I've been all over the front line, and you know, it builds character in a way that the guys that don't play a lot get to play and get their hearts in it, so that when the guys come back, you know, it creates a little competition, and everybody works together. So hopefully, you know, we got some guys banged up in the flu, and you know, at this time of the year, it's so hard when you play 4 and 5 nights or whatever, but we got to work through it.
Kelly, you mentioned that you've been all over the front lines, but I think Dave Tippett, and I know that we do, we appreciate that because you really started to light the lamp. You had a couple goals in Phoenix, and you did the job in San Francisco. You're playing really well. Do you think that added ice time is helping you?
Oh, sure. You know, I came from San Francisco, and I was playing 2 or 3 shifts a game, and that's not my game. And I came here, I was a little bit out of shape, and you know, they put me right in the lineup hard right away, and I'm getting myself into shape, and I'm getting in the positions where I can score, and fortunately enough, you know, I'm scoring some goals.
All right, well, Kelly, we know that you had a goal against your former teammates the other night. Get us one more here in the second or third periods.
I'll do my best.
All right, that's Kelly Hurd. Thank you very much for joining us. The Aeros trailing by a score of 1-0, and when we return, we'll have more in the intermission right after this. Welcome back to the Summit. We're in the first intermission. The Komets leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 1-0. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay here. Greener, the Aeros coming into tonight's game have something like 109 man games missed or injury. Now, I know coaches will tell you got to play through the adversity. That is a lot of games missed. I mean, in comparison, for those of you that follow the NBA, what is it? The Phoenix Suns have like 184 man games missed to injury. They just got Danny Manning back and all that. So the Aeros are up there as far as man games. Taking over from what Kelly Hurd was talking about, how tough is it when you keep losing guys?
Well, it's tough. It's hard to get everybody in the same swing of things, I guess. And I guess the real big thing about those man games lost is the fact that, first of all, they lost all their defensemen. And now they're losing all their forwards. I mean, next thing you know, you're going to lose all 3 goaltenders that they have in the roster right now. So, I mean, I'm saying it's not so much that the man games, but they keep losing it at one position, and that's always really tough.
And they're losing him in key positions. I mean, Lamb gets back. You can see he's not 100%. Turgeon's out another couple of weeks. Get everybody healthy and get ready for that stretch run. That's going to be important. But I'll tell you what was important tonight was the first start of this hockey game, and it didn't take long for the Aeros and Komets to let them know who was boss.
Well, we talked about being physical, and Donnelly and Nikolic really get it going right off the bat here. And Donnelly misses him with a bomb right off the bat, and that's what gets him into trouble, as he can't seem to get his footing back. But he rallies back to help himself out here, but the linesmen get in there real quick and doing a good job there. And it's been a physical game. Miles O'Connor getting hit by Chris Winnis, but I tell you what, Miles O'Connor threw out some big hits himself. He hit Elynuik later on in that period, doing a good job, but it's good to see guys working this hard. Eventually on the power play, though, there wasn't any scoring until this. Shafronov centers a puck, and I think it might have deflected off of Dobson's stick off of Conroy, then back into the net. And that's right from Kelly Hurd, and he would know because he was closer than we were. But that's an unfortunate goal. I don't think the Aeros should let that bother them, as they should come out and try and do it themselves here on starting in the second period. They have about 1:30 left on the power play.
Rob Murphy and Guy Dupuis getting the assists on that. But I think, you look at things, and obviously not a bad period at all. Dave Tippett's got to be very pleased about the way his team played in that first period.
I don't know if he can be really pleased, but he can be satisfied with the fact that they played good defensively. Now, offensively, they need to get some more pressure on Bob Essensa, because Bob Essensa is the kind of goalie that if you just get this kind of pressure on him, he'll eat you up alive.
All right, when we return, we'll have the stats from that first period. It's 1-0 Fort Wayne. We'll be right back. It is 1-0. The Fort Wayne Komets are leading the Houston Aeros from a good crowd here at the Summit this afternoon, and we'll take a look at tonight's first period of stats. They're brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers. 13-11, the Aeros were outshot in the period. Fort Wayne 1 of 2 on the power play. The Aeros 0 for 1, but they still have about 1.5 minutes remaining in a power play to start the second period. The faceoffs are even at 11, as are the penalty minutes. 3 penalties each for 9 minutes. And I think, Greener, you brought up an excellent point about the fact that it was a defensive struggle, which is good for Dave Tippett. He's got to be happy with that, but we'll have to see in the second period if they can get a little more offensive pressure on Bob Essensa.
Certainly, the quality of shots, too, is going to be important.
All right, it is 1-0 in favor of Fort Wayne, and we will return with more right after this. Fort Wayne Komets lead it by a score of 1-0 as the Aeros and the Komets have returned to the ice, and we are about ready to start the second period of action. The Aeros again will have about 1.5 minutes to work with on the power play to start this second period and try to tie the hockey game up at 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Diamond Cutters International and the Houston Aeros are proud to present the $1 Million Puck. Yeah, that's right. It's a hockey puck made out of platinum and completely covered with 171 carats of pure white diamonds and 4 carats of emeralds. You could win it at select Aeros home games. One fan will be chosen to take the shot on goal to win the $1 Million Puck. You've got to see it to believe it, folks, and you can. It's on display at the Summit at all Aero home games. That's the $1 Million Puck. It's brought to you by Diamond Cutter International, the official jeweler of your Houston Aeros. Well, our statistician Kimberly Johnson has been hard at the ice times tonight, and we have been keeping track of Scott Arniel and Marc Freer, and we figured they'd see a lot of ice time, Mike Greenley, and indeed they have seen a good portion of ice. Arniel at 8:35, Freer at 8:03, so things pretty even up there, and I would assume that is going to continue for those two guys.
Well, that pretty much tells a regular shift there around the 8-minute mark, and yeah, you'll see both those guys with a regular shift definitely, and maybe even a little more. You'll see guys like, well, definitely you'll see Arniel and probably Freer as well on the power play, and so they'll even get some more time out there.
The big story I like to keep track of is Marc Lamb. He seemed just like a step slow. Just, you know, it's tough. It's hard to say, you know, especially from up here. You don't know how a guy feels, and you're so used to seeing Marc Lamb dominating hockey games the way he has as of late. And you know, when you have the flu, it just takes so much out of you. You got to give Lamb a lot of credit just playing tonight and doing the best he can. And you just wonder, you know, how much fluid he's pounding down and all that. But he starts it on the power play. Here comes Lamb. He'll move it through the neutral zone. Lamb at center. He'll bring it across the line. Lamb sets up the power play to the left side. In behind the Fort Wayne net, it is out Conroy. Conroy's pass came down to Hurd, chipped it down Arniel, looking behind the cage. It's for Kelly Hurd. Back to Arniel, swings it to the line. Hurd over there to hold it in. Hurd right side, chipped it down into the corner. Deep was there, but it came right over to Conroy. To the line for Lamb. Power play down to 53. It is Conroy. Back for Lamb. One-time shot stopped Essensa. Oh, and the rebound just got behind Mike Hurd, but couldn't get a shot. Centered for Arniel. Batted away. Conroy to the line for Lamb. Teetering the blue line. Held it in nicely. Back down low. Here's Hurd. Trying to center. Hurd gave it back to the line. Lamb winding, faking the shot. Couldn't get it away, though. Banked it off the boards for Conroy. Out Conroy with half a minute on the power play. Into the circle. To the line for Lamb. Fan on the shot. Here's Lamb. Worked on by Colin Chin. Slides the puck to Conroy. Out Conroy to Lamb. Getting set. Now lets it fly. Blocked by McBain. Conroy with 15 on the power play. Out Conroy. Waiting. Here's the drive. Essensa stopped it. And the puck came free. Colin Chin was there for Fort Wayne. They bang away at it behind the cage, and finally whistle stops play. The Aeros, well, they didn't get the pressure maybe that they wanted, but they did set up for a nice Marc Lamb drive.
Well, Marc Lamb set up about 2 or 3 times with the shots, and actually one time the puck went off the shaft of McBain's stick, which was the same kind of thing that happened in the first goal against the Fort Wayne Komets last game on the power play, as it was Hurd who took a slap shot and it went off McBain's stick into the net. This time the puck seems to fly up in the air, and it's caught along the boards by Cronin.
Face off to the right side of Bob Essensa, and it'll be Freer with Maurice and Slivchenko off the draw. It is worked away by Fort Wayne. Came to the near side for Elynuik. Elynuik trying to clear. The power play is over. Teams are at 5 aside. Ryan Strop chipped it to the line. Jake's held. Back down along the near side, and Sergei Stas rolled to center. It went through everybody and into the Aero zone. Dobson slows. Dobson flings it off the boards. It's out at center. Straub takes a bump from Maurice, and now the Aeros have it 3-on-2. Freer left side, center. Slivchenko right in! Shoots! Great save by Essensa. And the puck is controlled by Slivchenko again. Slivchenko in the corner, belted by Stas. They battle it out in the corner, and finally the Komets clear it. A marvelous chance as Freer feathered one. It was tipped away, which kind of stalled the rush a little bit, but still Slivchenko got a nice shot away. 2 minutes gone in the second. 1-0, the Komets lead it. Here comes Slivchenko across the Fort Wayne line, but the Komets trying to clear, and they will. Here they come 3-on-3. Paul Willett hits the line. Willett cutting in. The cross-ice pass for Messier. Messier in the corner trying to dodge a Laniel check. They battle it out along the boards, and Jakes is there. Jakes flings it off the boards, and that'll go back to center. 2.5 elapsed in the second. 1-0 Fort Wayne. Clock goes back into the Houston zone where Jakes is there. Jakes gives to Freer, and Marc Freer will clear it for Mike Maurice, but it was knocked away by Mitch Messier. He is the cousin of Marc Messier, of course, star for the Rangers. Here's a turn in front, and it was knocked by Smith just wide. Now to Shawn Evans, pass for Willett. He centered one, and there was Dobson to cover up, and he will hold on with 17:09 to go in the second, and the Aeros still trailing 1-0.
That last power play, we're going to grade it again for you, and it shows that, yes, the Aeros did move the puck around well, but didn't get enough shots on goal or continuous pressure to really get a positive kind of power play. Composure was good as they were forced at the blue line a couple times and kept it in, but overall, we can't really give them a yes because there weren't enough shots on goal, the kind of shots that are going to beat this man, Bob Essensa. and so the Aeros will have to continue to try on their chances here, especially on the power play.
Dobson has got in front of 12 of them out of 13 tonight, and a face-off to his right. Colin Chin against Marc Lamb. Here's McBain trying to get a shot away, knocked away, and the Aeros are off the center. Kelly Hurd speeding right side, trying to get by Cronin, shoots, but Cronin got over there to deflect it away. Back to the corner, it's O'Connor trying to swing it along the boards for Lamb. Marc Lamb gently rolled it behind it. Essensa will slow and then fling it along. Bob Berg knocked it down, but Shawn Cronin takes over. Cronin right side, swings one at center. It got behind Donnelly and into the Houston Aeros zone. Miles O'Connor is there. O'Connor shoots one off the board. Berg turning right side, and now Lamb. He's got it 2-on-1. He's 2-on-1 with Hurd. Lamb across the line. Lamb in on goal. Centered. The shot short side miss. Kelly Hurd had the whole short side of the net and just fired it wide. Here come the Komets the other way. Across the line, Winnis pulls up along the right wing. Chris Winnis tapped it down into the corner. The best chance of the night, and the Aeros couldn't find Pater. Out is Lamb again. Lamb spun off the puck. Rob Murphy chased it in his own zone. Shawn Evans worked it ahead. Here is Rob Murphy. Fired the puck ahead to Pat Elynuik, and that's over 2 lines, and we'll take a timeout. 4 minutes gone in the second period. The Komets won. The Aeros nothing. Back after this, but first this word from Southwest Airlines.
Back at the Summit, the Komets lead it 1-0, but the Aeros tried, but were not successful in making this one a tie. A 2-on-1 as Lamb has to make a hard pass here to beat Essensa, and he makes a good hard pass, but it's a little too hard and goes off the toe of Hurd's stick as he can't get it all. And so the Aeros find themselves trailing 1-0 still. A good job as they had Essensa beat pretty much with a pass, but couldn't convert on the open net.
Puck is in the Aero end. Gord Krupke turned one to the fire side for Maurice, and the Aeros are up ice. A pass for Al Conroy. He'll bring it up with Townsend. Conroy faked the shot. Conroy right side shoots. Left pad save made by Essensa. Gobbled up by Shafronov. Tapped into the boards by Townsend, and it is Fort Wayne that'll move it up ice. Shawn Evans to Shafronov. Hits the line. Dropped Elynuik. It went behind it. Dobson thwarts it. Now smacked away from Krupke by Shafronov, but it was kicked away, and the puck will trickle back to center ice. Guy Dupuis spanked it into the Aero zone. Dobson slows behind the cage. It is 1-0 Fort Wayne, and the puck is out at center ice. It is Mike Maurice. His pass off skates. Krupke turning, trying to work it ahead, but it came right up ice from Mitch Messier. Give it to Willett. Dump the puck back in. Knocked away by Dobson. Conroy will gather it into the corner as he's taken to the wall by Darren Smith, but the Aeros move it up ice. Mike Maurice at center. The pass too far for Al Conroy, and Brian Straub will go back to play it. Aeros making some changes now. Puck is controlled by Fort Wayne's Brian Straub. The pass to Stoss. He'll move to center, and Mitch Messier will bring it across the line. Dropped it back for Smith. Worked into the corner for Messier. Centered, but missed Willett smoking down the slot. Straub hammered it behind the net. Tear him to the fireboards. Freer trying to get it out of there, but it's picked up by Darren Smith. And then the Aeros come away with it, and it's a 2-on-1. Slivchenko with Arniel. Slivchenko across the line with Arniel. Slivy right in. Centered. The shot stopped by Essensa as Freer was the trailer. It turned into a 3-on-1 after Freer had hustled back, and Slivchenko opted to drop for Freer, and Essensa makes the save.
Well, a good job by the Aeros forechecking there. In the mid zone, they steal the puck, and away comes Slivchenko. He waits, he has a trailer, he has a guy on the other side, and Freer gets it up in the air a little higher than I'm sure he wanted to, as he had both corners low. But Essensa gets in there, and he's a big man, 15 saves tonight, and catches it with his chest and glove and freezes it, as the Aeros had a 3-on-1, but again couldn't convert. That's 2 odd man rushes in the last 5 minutes that the Aeros couldn't convert on.
Face off to the right side of Essensa. Freer against Colin Chin, and Chin kind of starting a little early, and I think they'll move him out. You talk about consummate professionals. Colin Chin is one. He has been in Fort Wayne all his life. He was born there, and he is one of the top community guys. He gets as involved in the community as I think anybody I know. He's born and raised out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Great story. And he was an integral part, as you kind of talked about with Kelly Hurd, in winning the Turner Cup. Here come the Komets now, trying to push the puck ahead. They couldn't get it out of the zone. Slivchenko feather one fire side. Arniel waits for it. Back behind the net for Freer. He's bumped by McBain, and Shawn Cronin jumps on a loose puck, and it's out at center. Jakes pushed it back to the Komet end. Cronin cleared. Aeros regrouping at center ice. Jakes Over to Laniel. And back is Shawn Cronin. Work the puck ahead. Here come the Fort Wayne Komets down the left side. Chris Winnis trying to move it through Jakes. Colin Chin left side, moving in center. Oh, it hits skates. Loose in front, picked up by Arniel. Arniel's got Winnis on his case, and Winnis takes the puck away. Winnis trying to center. Here's Chris Winnis, right side, back to the line. Here's the shot, scooped up by Dobson, and he will hold on to it. 13.5 to go in the second period. Fort Wayne continues to lead this hockey game 1-0 on a power play goal from Konstantin Shafronov.
Well, the Aeros have had some trouble with 3 teams this year, teams they have not beaten once. Cincinnati they haven't beaten, they're 0-5-1. Orlando 0-5, and the Fort Wayne Komets they're 0-3-1 against them. So hopefully tonight the Aeros can find that little bit extra that they need to beat the Komets for the first time this season. That man Bob Essensa is going to do everything he can, and he has done this game, to try and keep that record good for his team, the Fort Wayne Komets.
Speaking of records, I think the Aeros have been listening to the sounds of silence too much as far as offense. Looking to maybe get things going here a little bit. Still off the scoreboard. They've tested Essensa a little more in this period, but still can't get anything by him. Puck is back in the Aeros zone, but the Aeros jump on it. Here they come, 3-on-3 again. It is Conroy at center. Across the line. Conroy moving right in, but it was tipped away by Evans. Back northeast along the hash marks. He dropped it, but right for Pat Elynuik. Komets can't clear. Puck taken away by Conroy. Conroy at the slot. Centered one to the line, and the Aeros held it in. Here's Maurice right side, but couldn't gather it in. Now it's centered, but he missed Conroy. This seems like the Aeros are a step behind in their play right now. It is Murphy. Right side, Elynuik right in. He will shoot. Then it's blocked by Dobson. Puck centered, and Donnelly got in front of it. Great play there. Puck is loose, centered. Murphy shoots. Oh, stopped by Dobson. Rebound got behind him. Score. Rob Dobson made a great save, but then it trickled by him, and the Komets take a 2-0 lead.
Well, on that play, they were just working it around, and Fort Wayne Komets get it down there and try and finally center it and chip it into the net. Conroy and Donnelly were in the net. There's Conroy on his knees in the net, and Dobson back in his net there. The puck is centered, and it actually beats both Dobson and Conroy as they get their second goal of the game. The Komets center the puck and chip it home as there's players lying all over the ice, and the Aeros find themselves running around just a little bit. Dobson came out of the net quite a ways, and he gets burnt eventually, even though he gets back into his net.
15th of the year for Rob Murphy, who gets credit for the goal. And it's 2-0 Fort Wayne. Sergei Stas shoots the puck into the Aeros zone. Aaron Smith centered one. It was knocked off the skates, and Lamb will move to center. Marc Lamb at neutral ice. Hits the line. Lamb cutting right in, but it was worked away by Stas. Now in there, Lamb trying to fight for a loose puck. They're back on top of the net, and they fight for it some more, and it's Mitch Messier. Messier trying to get it out of there. He's tapped into the boards by Lamb. Willett jammed it back behind the net, and here comes Brian Straub, and he'll loop it ahead to center ice. Bob Berg shoots one into the Fort Wayne zone. Straub is there. Straub banked one ahead, and here come the Komets right side. Messier. Messier at center. Wings one ahead. That's knocked away by Kelly Hurd, and he'll shoot that back at center. And all the way into the Fort Wayne zone. They will say no icing, though. Back to play it. Strong pass for Sergei Stas. 11:48 to go in the second. Komets lead at 2-0. Brian Straub, the pass, went into the penalty box, and play halted with 11:42 to go in the second. Here the Komets leading this hockey game by a score of 2-0, and we'll be right back. It's 2-0 Fort Wayne, and a face-off coming up in the Fort Wayne zone. Colin Chin will take the draw with Mark Freer. Freer is out there with Slivchenko and Arniel, and the Aeros trailing 2-0 need to find themselves some offense. Just can't seem to get the jump offensively. They're playing a very strong defensive game, but just can't get the quality opportunities on Bob Essensa. Most of the saves he's had to make have been just ones he's seen all the way. Here's Jake's right side, gets the shot, and a glove save made by Essensa as he snatches that from the jaws of the twine, and he will hold on to it.
You talk about seeing things all the way. Essensa certainly sees this one all the way, as right off the draw, the Aeros kick it back, and Jakes will take it from Laniel and just let a good hard shot go, but a guy like Essensa sees that one coming in all the way, and he's going to stop it
99.9% of the time.
That little repeating bar over the 9.
Yeah, with a repeat side over the top of the 9.
Face off to the left side of Bob Essensa. Freer again against Colin Chin. Chin wins the draw, went to the corner, and it's picked up by Shawn Cronin. Fired ahead to Chin, and it's banked out at center. Marc Laniel chased it back to his own blue line. Laniel to Jakes, back to Laniel. Aeros trying to move it up ice, trailing 2-0. Laniel lead pass, just missing Freer. It was tipped away. Essensa came out of the net, jammed it far side. Arniel fights for it, looking for Freer. Marc Freer behind the net. Here's Freer trying to get it through Colin Chin, knocked away by Chin. In there was Slivchenko, feathered it away to Arniel, base of the left circle. Here is Slivchenko with the puck back to the line. Laniel shot blocked. Freer turning. Freer trying to shake off the Shawn Cronin check. Cronin knocked it away. Crowd wanting a penalty, but no. Play moves on. Stefan Angers saying play on. Here's Slivchenko behind the net. Centered! This shot stopped by Essensa, and a penalty coming up, but the Aeros with a marvelous opportunity. Arniel was all alone in there, but he also had a Comet draped all over him, and that will be a penalty.
Well, I think you're right. That's what the penalty is going to be. I think Arniel had a chance as Slivchenko makes a good move, then does center it. And I think Arniel would have had a better chance at it if he wasn't being hooked on the play. I'm not sure who it's going to be. It might be Colin Chin. And it will be as Colin Chin goes to the box. And a good save by Essensa, but I think Arniel would have had a lot better chance of scoring if he wasn't being hooked on the play.
So the face-off will move to the left side of Bob Essensa as Chin sits in the box. And this is a key power play for the Houston Aeros, and I think this is one we'll grade also. I think this is a key point in the hockey game. The Aeros need to get some offense here, trailing 2-0.
It certainly would get them back into the game. It would make a one-goal difference, and we are almost halfway through the game. It's a time to get going now.
Puck back to the line. Here's Hurlbut. Sends one left side for Marc Lamb. Starting on the power play. Lamb, Hurlbut, one-time shot right on. Stick save made by Essensa. And the rebound smoked right out to Guy Dupuis, and he'll scamper to center ice. Dupuis down the left side, shovel the puck into the Aeros zone. Dobson comes out to slow, and the Aeros will start it up ice. Here comes Mike Hurlbut at center. Pass for Conroy. Streaking right wing. Ripped it into the Fort Wayne zone. And then it takes a weird hop out in front, but Straub worked it away. Behind the cage, they fight for it. It's cleared to the line. Lamb couldn't hold it in. It just got by him. And then Lamb was knocked off the puck by McBain. Lamb chased it to the far side. He couldn't advance it, so instead shoots it back into his own end. We're halfway through the hockey game. 2-0 Fort Wayne, 1:16 left in the power play. It is Marc Lamb turning in his own zone. He'll move the puck up ice. Lamb at center. He'll bring it across the line. Lamb pass to the left side. Conroy. He's got Maurice on the doorstep. Can't get it to him. Here's Hurlbut, the one-time shot, and he smacked it way wide of the net. Looked like he had a little too much on that. Now the puck came to the corner. It's Rob Murphy trying to clear it. Hurlbut knocked it free, but then the puck up over the glass and out of play. The Aeros trail 2-0 with 9:43 to go in the second period. 53 seconds left to Colin Chin. Well, folks, he gets the funniest looks from everybody he meets. It's the Monkeys, or better yet, it's Davy Jones of the Monkeys. Friday, February 16th. It's Monkeys night with your Houston Aeros. Davy Jones will be your celebrity host for the evening, so don't take the last train to Clarksville. Get your tickets because you will be a believer. It'll be against the Peoria Rivermen. And I'll tell you, one Houston Aeros staff member that's going to go nuts is account executive Mark Shanebraun. This guy is as much a Monkeys fan as anybody I ever met. He's just jacked about the weekend. I think he's going to have a big group night. And they'll all be Monkey fans. So be sure to join us. Here's a stuff shot by Freer. That was stopped by Essensa. Well, it is for O'Connor. Looped one down for Arniel. Now to Freer. Base of the circle. Stuff shot right in there. Stop. Loose in front. They bang away at it. And somehow the Komets were able to get it out of there. Bob Essensa essentially getting in front of that one. And it's back at neutral. It is Elynuik. Takes a dump there from Arniel. And back is Marc Freer. Freer's pass to the left side for Laniel. At center, Arniel shoots one into the four-weight zone. Essensa slowed. It's knocked away. Berg came in there but couldn't hold in. Now it's O'Connor. The pass shot high in the air, and it bounced to the corner. And it is Berg tapped in there by Smith. But the Aeros hold. O'Connor, quick pass Arniel at the hash marks. Power play is over. The shot right on Essensa, the save, and he holds on just as Chin's penalty expires. So that will do it. And teams are at 5 aside, and there is a timeout on the ice, and we will do the same. Fort Wayne 2, the Aeros no score, and we'll be back right after this. Need are 2 goals to tie, and that guy, Bob Essensa, has something to say about that as well. Al Conroy, Mike Maurice, Graham Townsend with Krupke and Hurlbut. Aeros off the draw. Hurlbut, the wrist shot stopped by Essensa, and it's gobbled up by Wortman, and out at center ice. The Komets shoot it into the Aero zone. It should be icing. If the Aeros get there, they will. Conroy touches, and the faceoff will come back into the Fort Wayne zone.
Well, the power play, as you said, was a very important one. The Aeros still could not get a goal. Essensa came up with some pretty good saves there, and once again, we've rated it for you as Dave Tippett watching on. And puck movement, we gave it both a yes and a no because it was kind of iffy. The shooting, they got some good shots. Freer had 2 great chances himself. Continuous pressure was there, so was composure. We're giving it a yes on the power play, but they still haven't found the mark, even though we're giving them a positive, I guess, outlook on the power play. But the Aeros still need to find the twine, whether it's on the power play or not, behind Essensa.
Here's Maurice into the slot, pulls the trigger, stopped by Essensa again. Maurice kind of dangling around there through traffic, snapped the shot, and there was Bob Essensa down to make the save. Still 2-0 Fort Wayne.
Essensa dropping to his knees and catching that one in the pads and then covering up. The Aeros are unable to get any rebounds as Essensa's doing a good job. Maurice gets a good hard shot and he puts it in a good spot right towards the 5-hole, but Essensa giving up no rebounds. We should call what he's giving up wee-bounds because they're so small. A good hard shot, and there's nothing there. The Aeros, even though Conroy's all over the rebound, Essensa's covering them up and not really giving the Aeros too many chances.
Did you say rebounds wobble, but they don't go in the net? Here's a puck that's stopped by Essensa, and now it's controlled. You knew that was coming, though, didn't you? The puck is controlled by Conroy. Left side, back to the line. Hurlbut shot blocked by Cronin. Went to the far board. Colin Chin trying to clear Kanata. Came to the line, but the Komets are off the center. Chris Winnis shoots it into the Aero zone. Chased down by Krupke. Gord Krupke along the near side. Shoveled it along the boards. It'll come out to Townsend and out at center. Here comes Maurice. The pass ahead for Hurlbut. Hits the line. Hurlbut getting set. Drills it behind the cage. Townsend chased it down center. Knocked away as Essensa got a stick on it. Here come the Komets out at neutral ice. Kevin Wortman fling the puck ahead to Winnis, but knocked away by the Aeros Hurlbut. And here comes Graham Townsend rumbling at center. Hits the pass over to Lamb. Lamb pulls up along the left side. Looks for the pass. Lamb winding, shooting. Essensa saving. Loose in front. And it's worked away behind the cage. Now a chance for Bob Berg. Berg base the right circle for Townsend. Get it to Lamb. Right back in front, but Winnis is there. Winnis takes over for Fort Wayne, and he will gently shoot it down the ice. That will bounce right onto Rob Dobson, and the Aeros are back. O'Connor, a quick pass for Berg as he tried to hit the line, but he ran into Willett, and the Komets will turn it around. A pass too far for Nikolic. It goes into the Aero zone, chased down by Gord Donnelly, and that will be an icing call on Fort Wayne. 7:12 remaining in the second period, and the Komets lead it 2-0. Dave Farish, the head coach of the Komets. I'll tell you what, you talked about at the top of the broadcast about how tough a customer he is, and it comes not only when he played, but right into his coaching. His teams have a lot of composure, even when they're down big.
Well, you saw that last game. He had a deficit actually of only 1 goal at any point, but his team came back the next shift and scored on the Aeros to tie it up again, and they did that twice, as a matter of fact, and that's what helped them come back and eventually win the game in the shootout. And so he's got his team playing pretty tough.
Statistician Neil Wilkins pointing out in the second period, the Aeros are out shooting Fort Wayne 15-6. So they're getting the shots now, but nothing by Essensa. They trail 2-0. 7 minutes remaining. In behind the net, Marc Freer tapped in there by Straub. Lugged out of there by Willett, but Freer trying to get it back, and it was scooped away. Now it is Mitch Messier. He'll clear it down the ice. Chased down by O'Connor. He had Rob Murphy on his case. Murphy has one of the 2 Komet goals. He and Shafronov have the tallies for Fort Wayne. Rob Dobson has the puck behind his net, and the Aeros will turn it around. It is a pass out at center ice for Scott Arniel. Hits the line with Freer and Slivchenko. Marc Freer winding, shooting, saving is Essensa, and he will hold on. So Freer had the angle down the left side, but Essensa reading it the whole way, and a routine glove save, if you will, with 6:31 to go.
Well, Arniel and Freer working well together as a drop pass, and Freer does the right thing. He takes a good hard shot, and it went between the legs of the defenseman and eventually came up on Essensa, but Essensa seems to be picking these out of the crowd, and there again, no rebound. That's one of the stories of tonight so far, is the effectiveness of Essensa on either kicking the rebounds to the corner or freezing them right after he makes a save, and that's not allowing the Aeros any second or third chances, and that is going to be tough because that's where the Aeros, a lot of hard work gets them some goals.
Here comes Guy Dupuis at center ice. He'll shoot the puck in for Fort Wayne. It's in Arrow territory. Dobson misplayed it, then had to regroup. Here's Shafronov, centered the shot, and I think Dobson may have gotten a piece of it, although Murphy looked like he was going wide with it. Now at center, it's off the skates of Maurice, and Shafronov is there. Here comes Guy Dupuis, shot the puck ahead. That's broken up by Jakes. Townsend tried to loop it ahead. Konstantin Shafronov near side, takes a bump from Townsend. Battle for the puck. It's gobbled up by Shawn Evans. Hits the line. Evans centered. Shafronov right in. His shot one wide. Shafronov to the corner. Gives to Murphy. Trying to move it through Jakes and back to play Laniel. Komets nearly got one in there as it scrammed Townsend. Rink-wide pass. An ill-advised one, broken up by the Komets, Dupuis, but he lost an edge. Down he went, got back up, Dupuis. In behind the net, it is Andy McBain, shoveled it back. Here's Evans, skips a centering pass off skates. Fighting for it was Winnis, and Dobson covers up with 5.5 remaining in the second period. Fort Wayne leads it by a score of 2-0.
Well, Dobson makes another save. He hasn't had that much action as Evans chips the puck ahead, and I think it's Shafronov who gets a good shot on goal, and Dobson gets that pad down and kicks it to the corner. So although limited action, he's making the saves when he has to, as the Aeros trail by 2 here, but they haven't been short of chances themselves. So actually some very good chances, and they can't find the twine. But coming up in 5 minutes is a third period, and they always seem to have a good third period.
Yeah, that's been their period.
Hopefully they can get something before then.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Rob Dobson. Winnis to take the draw against Marc Lamb. And Winnis had won it, but it's worked by Krupke for Houston. Krupke trying to get it up the boards, and it's lodged out by Cronin. Long shot wide. Along the far boards, here is Darren Smith for Fort Wayne. Give it to Chris Winnis. Pass back to line, tipped away, but not out by Hurd. Held in by Sean Cronin. Now the Aeros will try to advance it. Here comes Marc Lamb at neutral ice. Lamb, right side, hits the line, trying to get by Cronin. Can't do it. Still in the corner. Lamb feathered one in front, but there was Darren Smith to clear it up and out of the zone. Center ice for Wortman, speeding across the Aero blue line. Kevin Wortman centered one for McBain, but he missed the pass. Aeros turn it around. Here is Bob Berg. He'll hit the line for Houston. Berg trying to cut in on goal. He's right in, but thwarted off the rush. Winnis. Worked on by Kelly Hurd. Strom moved it ahead. It's out at center, and now Miles O'Connor will shoot the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. It will bounce down to Essensa, and then Arniel with a marvelous chance, just about tapped one in there. Back McBain. Give it to Winnis. He'll move it through Freer and into the Aero zone, but Miles O'Connor has there. 4:20 remaining in the second period. 2-0 Komets. O'Connor shoots the puck into the Komet zone. Here is a centering pass knocked away by Alex Nikolic, and the pass to center ice for Paul Willett. Here comes Willett right side. Willett trying to move in, centered. Messier cutting right in. Oh, and he lost the puck in the last second after Dobson had made a move on it, and now it's back at center. Stas right side. Fired it into the Aero zone. Dobson slows behind the net. In there, Paul Willett trying to work it away, but Miles O'Connor has got it. O'Connor, the pass out at center, and the Aeros are there. Slivchenko's got Freer right side, 2-on-1. Freer right in, centered Arniel. What a save by Essensa. A marvelous save by Essensa. Puck in front, and Essensa again. Another try, and for a 4th time in the shift, Bob Essensa stands on his lips and makes a marvelous save, and we've got timeout. 2-0 Fort Wayne. We'll be back after this.
Back at the Summit, 2-0 Komets as the Aeros try in vain to make this game a little closer as Freer comes down on a 2-on-1, throws on the brakes and peels it across to Arniel. Arniel rings it off the post, and then it goes to the corner. Right after that, another chance as they walk out of the corner, and again Arniel in front gets a feed, and again Essensa comes up with a big pad save. Right after that, a penalty coming up as Freer gets a shot and it's blocked. But the Aeros on the power play as Evans gets 2 minutes for cross-checking in front. The Aeros still trying to get those chances past Essensa, who is playing some great hockey.
Well, we're going to get a stick measurement here, and I think this is a smart move by Dave Tippett, because at this point, you know, a power play here is great, but if you don't have it, then you get a 2-minute minor for delay of game, you lose your power play. It's not as effective. However, if it's an illegal stick, Aeros get a 2-man advantage. You got 3:38. This is an excellent play by Tippett, especially if it's a bad stick.
Well, certainly, and referee's gonna get the linesman to hold it for him, and it is a good tactical move. As you said, he doesn't lose anything if they get their penalty for delay of game, but they gain so much if they get the call.
You know, I talked to Dave Tippett about this a couple of times, and he was telling me that a lot of times it's not even the coaches that make the call. Sometimes a player will just make the call. In fact, one time this year, I guess Marc Lamb had made a call and nobody really knew about it because he knew that the stick was illegal.
Well, you know what? The thing is, Marc Lamb is a centerman, and he gets to see a stick close up in the face-off circle. And so when he's facing off with some guy and he sees a banana in front of him, that big hook on that guy's stick, he says, hey, this guy's got definitely an illegal stick. Maybe I should talk to the coach and call it. And they made the call here as Dave Tippett probably tells his boys to watch out for guys with illegal sticks.
Well, they're taking their sweet time, which obviously means it's close, but it's legal. It's a legal stick, and that'll cost the Aero power play. But at this point, you know, I don't have a problem with that. That's a call I think you got to make, and the Aeros are going to get away with one, or the Komets are going to get away with one here, and we'll play four aside. Carl Valimont will serve the penalty.
So nix the power play for the Aeros, and actually, you know, you can argue it both ways, as the Aeros will get a 2 minutes delay of game penalty, and you can argue it both ways. The Aeros are putting so much pressure on that maybe even just a 5-on-4 power play would have been what they needed, but definitely a 5-on-3 power play would have helped them out. Yeah. And you know, 99 or 90% of the time, when you see a stick that's almost has too much curve on it, you'll get the call. But in this case, maybe the curve is quicker than the eye.
I think in this case, I really don't have a problem. As Hurd lets a shot go, I think at that point, that's a call you got to make. Because boy, if you can get that 2-man advantage, and they were so successful with it or on Friday night, I think that's Dave Tippett's thinking also. Anytime you can get a 2-man advantage at this point. Here is Mike Hurlbut, top of the slot. Swine to swing one in there, and it's back out, and the Komets will shoot it out at center ice. Elynuik at neutral ice. He'll bring it across the line to the right side for Rob Murphy. Murphy trying to move it around Laniel, cutting behind the net. He looks in front. Here's Murphy back to the line for Shawn Cronin, and he'll swing it back in behind the net. Arniel trying to clear Murphy. Went barreling in there head over tea kettle, and he fights for the loose puck, trying to work it down, and Arniel is there. Scott Arniel. Lead pass for Freer, trying to split the defense. Freer trying to get in, but it was hooked away by Wortman and shot the length of the ice. This will be an icing call on Fort Wayne. Hurlbut goes back and play halted. 2:43 to go in the second. Komets lead at 2-0. 1:05 left in the penalties to Sean Evans and Carl Valimont. Fans, don't miss family entertainment at its best at the Summit. February 6th through the 11th, it's Sesame Street Live's all-new stage production, Let's Play School, featuring Bert and Ernie, Cookie Monster, Elmo, Big Bird, and all my favorite Sesame Street fans. It says all yours here, but they're all mine also. That's Tuesday, February 6th through the 11th right here at the Summit. You can purchase tickets at any Ticketmaster outlet or the Summit box office.
I just want to know where Mr. Snuffleupagus is.
He called me and said he couldn't make it. He had a very pressing engagement. I don't know what it was.
I heard he had a sinus infection.
Okay, whatever. Well, we got some broken glass, I think, here. I think we got some broken glass, and with 2:43 remaining, folks, I think this might be the end of the period. They're thinking maybe, you can see if you're watching on Prime, that they're thinking, do they take the chance and play it with the fans there? My thinking is, hey, you got 2:43 left. That could be the period. They'll resurface the ice, play 2:43 in the third, treat it as the second, and then they'll change the ends. But we'll see what Stéphane Auger, the referee, it's his call to make.
Well, at the level of the boards where that is, it's about right where a guy gets hit into, and so facial lacerations come into effect in that kind of situation, and I'm sure that the referee I think he's probably giving the coaches the call as he's talking to him about it, and maybe saying, hey, just what you did. Let's finish the period, and that's what they'll do.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and play the period out? No, they're going to
send the guys off.
Yeah, send the guys off. Yep, so they're going to go off, and
If you're Dave Tippett, do you like that? I mean, you've got the momentum. Do you like that? Is that a tough break or what?
Well, I guess it is. They had the momentum all period, though. So
yeah,
maybe go in and get a little more rest and come out really hard in the end of the second period, really. But we still will have our second intermission right now.
Yeah, we'll have our second intermission. Then when we come back, they'll play 2:43 on the same ends, and then they'll switch ends after the 2:43 expire. But we are in the second intermission, and when we return, we will have more from the Summit. 2-0 Komets. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Summit, along with Mike Greenlay, Adam Gordon with you, and we're about ready here to start a neat little event where they get the kids to race. And you've probably been to games where they have Zamboni races on the screen and all that. Well, Joe Pogge in his infinite wisdom have decided to get rid of the Zamboni races and have the kid races. And one of the kids, I think it's the one in white, I can't tell here, is Trey Wilkins. And hopefully we'll get a tight shot, but Trey Wilkins, who just started skating on ice this year, is going to try. He is the son of Neil Wilkins, our statistician. And right now, they're battling it out right now. Look at him go. And right now, Trey Wilkins is third. He's the one in white. And I guess I'm a bit of a homer here since our statistician, Neil, I'd love to see him. Trey's trying to pick it up on the outside. And by the way, folks, no wagering here.
Yeah, let's throw the body. Come on.
Yeah, grab him, Trey. Trey should grab the guy and throw him down. Here they come down the stretch. It's a battle. Look at them. They're getting tired. Into the turn they come. Look at them go. Greener looks like the way I skate. Look at Trey go. It could be. It might be. Wow. This is exciting. Look at Trey go. Is it Trey in the white? Here he comes. I think he's going to do it. Oh, man. Good for him.
Heck, I'm tired watching these kids.
Oh,
wow.
Wow, you know what? You know what it takes? It takes a lot of anaerobic conditioning as well as aerobic conditioning to skate like that. And congratulations to Trey Wilkins. And speaking of anaerobic conditioning, let's take time out for good health. Back in the Summit, a 2-0 Fort Wayne Komet lead. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. And I guess when you sit and you think about that second period, I mean, again, it's kind of how you look at it positively from a defensive aspect. Yeah, it's another good defensive period. Only the one goal by Rob Murphy, but the Aeros have got to be scratching their heads a little bit and wondering how they're going to beat Bob Essensa.
Well, they've certainly had great chances. Marc Freer especially has had some glorious opportunities. Scott Arniel has had some great ones himself, and I don't know. I think what you have to do is you get someone like Graham Townsend, put him in front of that net, and say, screen this guy, because he's everything he sees, he stops. And right now, the Aeros need to find some way to get around Bob Essensa.
Would you say, is it safe to say that the flu has played a factor in tonight's hockey game?
Oh, I don't think so at all. I really do not. I think the Aeros have played a good, hard game. And, you know, they had 18 shots in what's the first part of the second period. They still have 2:43 to play with the glass being fixed and everything. But, I mean, really, they put some great pressure on Bob Essensa. They just can't get the puck by him. He's made some great saves, and I think they need a break, but I think they also have to make your own breaks by getting some more pressure on him.
As we take a look at the highlights, the only goal was by Rob Murphy. He made it 2-0.
Well, what happened is Dobson had come out, and getting back into his net, he had a couple of his own players trying to help him out, but Murphy found him somehow, found it 5-0 as it's centered, and it goes off the inside of Dobson's leg, and it just bounces into the net. The 15th goal of the season by Murphy from Shafronov and Elynuik, and that made it 2-0, and that's the way it stands.
But the Aeros had some great chances on Bob Essensa, but he stood on his lips once again.
Oh, Essensa certainly did make some great saves, and we talked about how some of them were on Freer, and right here you see it being passed across, and this is a glove save he makes on, I think, Jake's right off the face-off. That was just one of the great saves he made. Another one being right here on Hurlbutt as Hurlbutt blasts one, and he gets down low, and you see him making so many of those saves down low into that crouch. And of course the 2-on-1 we talked about where Freer fed Arniel. Arniel actually hits the iron on this one as it goes off the post and into the corner.
And they kept working him pretty good there. And I think, you know, the Aeros have to just keep that pressure on Bob Essensa and the Komets and just whittle away. I thought, you know, you brought up a pretty good point there in the second period by saying that the second period has been, or the third period has been the Aeros period this year.
Well, it certainly has. I think the Aeros have to remember that and come out, and they shouldn't feel bad about some of the pressure they put on. They've had some glorious opportunities. Now they just have to find that extra little bit that gets the puck by Essensa, and the third period is usually the period that they find success in that.
It'll be actually a longer third period. It'll be 22 minutes and 43 seconds, if you will, of a third period, which gives the Aeros plenty of time to whittle away at the 2-0 deficit. When we return, the stats back after this. Back at the Summit, the Komets leading the Aeros by a score of 2-0, and we'll take a look at tonight's second period stats brought to you by your local Texas Jeep and Eagle dealers. 29-20. Now this is after 2 periods. The Aeros were being outshot, but they had a terrific second period and are out shooting Fort Wayne 29-20. Power plays. Fort Wayne did not have a power play in that second period. Now remember, there's still 2:43 left of the second period when we resume action because of the broken glass. Aeros are 0 for 3 on the power play this evening. Face-offs are even up at 19 apiece. The Komets 5 penalties for 13 minutes. The Aeros 4 penalties for 11 minutes. And the Aeros, as we said, trailing 2-0 with 2:43 to go in the second period. Remember, they had the broken pane of glass in the corner. It is fixed, so they'll have 2:43 to work with, and then the 20 minutes they'll switch ends for the third period. Take a look at the Columbia HCA game summary, and it's brought to you by Columbia Healthcare Systems. And the only goal in the first period came off a fluke goal. Konstantin Shafronov, a power play goal at 16:31. Rob Murphy, Guy Dupuis getting the assist. And in the second period, Rob Murphy from Konstantin Shafronov and Pat Elynuik at 7:15. And the Aeros find themselves trailing by a score of 2-0. When we return, third period action. Aeros need a deuce to tie it. We'll be back with the third after this. Back at the Summit, we're getting ready for the resumption of second period play, and then we'll get into the third. There's 2:43 left to go in the second period. Let's take a look at our ice times. As Kimberly Johnson, our statistician, pointing out, Scott Arniel, who had 8:35 ice time in the first, 7:05 in the second. That's 15:40 total. And Marc had 8:03 in the first period, 6:35 in the second. So his ice time dropped quite a bit in that second period, 14:38. So Scott Arniel logging a ton of ice. I shouldn't say a ton of ice. I guess a ton of ice, he'd be around 20 minutes by now.
Well, he also leads the Aeros against Fort Wayne with a goal and 3 assists in the 4 games he's played against them. And not only that, in the shot department, he has 18 shots versus the Fort Wayne Komets, and has 6 tonight, so make that 24. He's really pumping that puck towards the net, just can't find the twine right now, as none of the Aeros seem to be able to find it right now. But hopefully a remainder of this second period and beginning of that third, he'll be able to get something going.
So the Aeros and the Komets start this period, or the remainder of this period, I guess. Seems weird to say that. 1:06 left to 4-on-4 hockey. Lamb and Hurd with Hurlbut and Laniel. Drop of the puck. Aeros win the draw. Here's Hurlbut with a one-time shot right off the hop. A left pad save made by Essensa. Now it's turned around by Messier. Shot to center, and it's jumped on by Kevin Wortman. Brings it across the Aero line. Wortman trying to get it over to Messier. Hurlbut gathers it in, and the Aeros move it up ice. Here comes Lamb at center. Lamb looks for the pass and then just drifts one over to Hurlbut left side. Puck sails into the Fort Wayne zone. Essensa slowed behind the net, and the Komets will gather it in. Wortman got it through the check of Lamb, and here they come to center ice. 3-on-2. It is Messier across the line. Drop pass, Wortman, winding, shooting. Ooh, right in the back of Hurlbut. Now it's picked up by Willick. The back is pretty well protected there. But still, that's got to sting. A Straub shot knocked away by Laniel. Here is Laniel. He's opening it up with 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Laniel pass ahead for Kelly Hurd. He's trying to find some room to skate. And he'll hand it over to Laniel. Aeros back at their own blue line. Laniel left side. Shot the puck ahead for Freer. It goes into the Fort Wayne zone where Essensa steers it aside for Guy Dupuis. Dupuis watched by Arniel and smacked along the boards. Connor, long shot right on Essensa. Stopped it loose. They bang away at it. And luckily for Essensa, Pat Elynuik was there to take it away. Elynuik cleared to the line and out at center ice, and Gord Donnelly takes over. Backhands went into the Fort Wayne zone. Aeros needed a chance there. 1:20 left in the second period, and then there'll be really no timeout. They'll just face it off at center ice and switch ends. Here is Gord Donnelly at center ice, trying to jam the puck ahead, and Donnelly will go back to play. Wings one along the far boards. It is Miles O'Connor. O'Connor will move it up ice. O'Connor through the neutral zone. O'Connor got it into the zone, but it actually got into the bench. And they are down to the final minute of play in the second period, and it's still 2-0 Fort Wayne.
Maybe you thought Troy Gamble, who was on the bench, needed a little action.
Get him ready.
Looked like he was maybe sitting too idle, but Miles O'Connor moving the puck up well, and there's Marc, who's had plenty of chances tonight and a few games. The last few games he's had opportunities, but unable to really tuck the puck by. He's getting the opportunities, which is good, which means he's doing the right things to get into the right position, but still unable to kind of find that last little bit to put the puck in that net.
Face-off is at center. Conroy centers a line with Graham Townsend and Mike Maurice, Donnelly and O'Connor defensively. Drop of the puck and the Aeros have it. Off the face-off, it's Gord Donnelly. Flings the pass to O'Connor, and he'll rip one in there. Went right off the pads of Kevin Wortman. Wortman chased it down behind the cage. Wortman moves it up ice. His pass for Colin Chin. Gives to Andy McBain. He'll shoot it into the arrow end. Back to play. Here's Chris Winnis over skin. His shot tipped away by Dobson. That came from Colin Chin. Pass held in by Shawn Evans, but the Arrows are able to shoot it down the ice. That pass too far for Townsend. Wortman back to play, and that is an icing call with half a minute remaining in the second period. And then we will start the third.
Graham Townsend has had some success as of late too, and Townsend has 4 goals, 2 assists in his last 7 games, so he continues the offensive capabilities that he has shown earlier on this year, and that's real good to see. We need guys like him to get in there and pitch in. As you take a good look at Troy Gamble at the end of that bench, sitting next to Graham Townsend. First time, you said, in quite a while that we've seen the tandem of Dobson and Gamble.
We haven't seen it since Grant Shervin arrived on the scene.
And that was in Atlanta, or no, that was after Atlanta,
right,
against Utah at home here, where they lost 2-0.
Puck is back into the Fort Wayne zone. Guy Dupuis chased it down in his own end. They will indicate icing, and they'll bring a face-off back into the Houston Aeros zone. Rob Dobson has played a pretty solid hockey game tonight. It'll be interesting to see who Dave Tippett will go with tomorrow in Atlanta. And again, I want to remind everybody that game is in Atlanta, and it can only be heard one place, KPRC radio. It is not a televised game, and I'm telling you, that is a huge hockey game.
It's a very big hockey game. The Arrows have seemed to have had the Knights' number this year so far, and will have to continue to do so, as they've really solidified their lineup. They have Peter White, the American Hockey League scoring leader last year, and he is really adding some offense to an already strong offensive Atlanta Knights hockey team.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll even need to put him with Julian Ruff.
They have a lot of speed. We talked to Troy Gamble, and he said they have a lot of speed now, as he was backing up in Kansas City when they played him a couple nights ago.
Here is Darren Smith for Fort Wayne in his own zone. Fired a pass at center, and it'll go into the Houston Aeros zone. And that is the end of the second period. So we have played 40 minutes of action. They will not change or anything. They'll just change heads. They won't come off. They'll just drop the puck off and give them a quick little breather, come to the bench. And while we have a second, let's talk about hockey camps. In an effort to educate Houston on the fastest growing sport in America, the Houston Aeros will be hosting 2 weeks of hockey camps. Camps will run for 1 week each, the 15th through the 19th of July, and that's at the Aerodrome in Sugar Land, and then July 22nd through the 26th at the Aerodrome in Willowbrook. Rob Dobson, Graham Townsend will be the instructors for both weeks. Special guest appearances will be there at the camp as well. For more information, call the Houston Aeros office at 621-2842. That's 621-2842. And I'll tell you what, I might even be in there. I got a chance to be one of the instructors last year, and I think I might help out a little bit this year. It was kind of fun working with Dobber, and you know what? Rob Dobson, I got a real good indication of what kind of a skater he is. We've talked about how good a skater he is, but we were doing some skating drills, and Dobson was teaching him. He is an incredible skater. He really is. I mean, if he had some of the skills that you need to play forward, he would be a terrific forward at this level.
I wonder if he ever took figure skating. A lot of goaltenders do when they're young.
Well, I think a lot of players have taken
I know we laugh
skating.
at that, but a lot of goaltenders do when they're young, just to get their balance.
Here is a puck now as we start the third period in the Fort Wayne zone. Lamb in the corner takes a bump from Murphy. Puck came right out in front, but Elynuik was there, and he'll shoot it back to center ice. Laniel worked it ahead, and it's controlled by Shawn Evans. And back to play. Evans fired it at the line. Aeros trying to hold it in, and it's back at center ice. It is Laniel to Berg. Pass ahead for Hurd. Kelly Hurd dropped it back. Lamb shooting, but the Komets, Guy Dupuis got over there at the last second and deflected that out of play.
A good read by Evans and Dupuis on that play, as it looked like Hurd was going to wind up and then drop the pass, and Lamb didn't take a lot of time to get that shot away, but right on the play where the defensemen for the Fort Wayne Komets, who have been really keeping the Arrows away from a lot of good chances, And when they do get the good chances, Essensa's been there.
Some scores to report around the IHL real quickly for you. Middle of the third period, Chicago leading Peoria 6-4. Orlando in a final defeats Cleveland in a shootout, so Orlando continues their great play. In the middle of the first, the Spiders and the LA Ice Dogs are tied at 1. And just underway, Las Vegas is at the Bradley Center taking on the Milwaukee Admirals. Bob Essensa has not let in an Aero goal yet tonight. He has played solid. Face off in the circle to the left side of Essensa. Conroy against Colin Chin, and the Fort Wayne Komets win the draw on their own end. Winnis, a pass ahead for Chin, moves it center ice. Here comes Chin across the line, tipped away by Hurd, but picked up by McBain. Andy McBain trying to feather one in front, but it was gobbled up by Gord. Now the Aeros up ice. Conroy, pass ahead, Maurice gives it over to Townsend across the line. Townsend trying to reach for it. It came to Hurd, but a bouncing puck, can't pull the trigger, and then fighting for it, he and McBain. McBain is covering it up, and if that's not a penalty, I don't know what is. Here's Krupke, the drive. That went just wide as Conroy nearly deflected one in there. Boy, I'll tell you what, Andy McBain had his glove on the puck, and usually that's a penalty. Here's a shot by Maurice, right on, and it was stopped by Essensa, and the Komets are off at center. It is Winnis trying to work it ahead. It was knocked away, and the Aeros are in transition. Townsend to Conroy, dumped the puck in, but the Aeros need to make some changes on the fly, and the Komets will take over. Sergei Stas, pass to the right side, Messier, intercepted by Arniel, fired the puck ahead. Across the line, they fight for it, and finally Stas came away. Sergei Stas to the right side for Darren Smith. Smith worked on by Miles O'Connor. They continue to jostle for the puck. Smith along the board, and Conroy takes him off, O'Connor takes him off the puck. Went in behind the net for Messier. Mitch Messier overskated, get it to Darren Smith, knocked away by the Aero defensive Gord Donnelly. They fight for the loose puck, and finally it's out at center. Freer trying to get there. If he could have, it would have been a 2-on-1 with Slivchenko. 2 minutes gone in the third period. 2-0 Fort Wayne. Here is Gord Donnelly right side. He'll move it up and out at center. Pass knocked down by Stas at his own blue line, and here come the Komets. Left side, Shafronov right in, but he found on the shot. Gave it to Pat Elynuik. Elynuik turning, base of left circle, centered it. Evans shoots right on, and Dobson makes the save, and he will hold on. 2.5 gone in the third, and Fort Wayne leads it 2-0.
Fort Wayne did a good job there, down deep in the zone, working it around, and finally getting it out to a Fort Wayne player who can get a good shot on goal. And Dobson came up with a good save. Shafronov fans on the original shot, but he stays with it and finally feeds it back. The puck will come to the point, and a good shot on goal by Shawn Evans, and Dobson right there to take it in his midsection and pick up the puck.
Face off to the right side of Rob Dobson. Here is Shawn Evans. Long shot blocked. Loose in front. The Aeros will turn it. And Lamb is off to the races. Amanda beat Dupuis. Lamb hits the line. Lamb barreling right in. A backhander in there was Essensa to scoop it up and hold on.
So Lamb showing some pretty good speed and not really showing like he's really feeling the effects. Lamb comes into this game with a goal-scoring streak, and he tries to add to it as a good backhand shot, but from a sharp angle like that, it's going to be tough to beat someone like Essensa. And Marc Lamb, as we said, coming into this game with a bit of a streak, doing a good job. He just missed out on IHL Player of the Week last week as he was runner-up, but he comes in with 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points over his last 3 games. So good to see Lammer back in the lineup.
Off the face-off, here's Pat Elynuik in the corner. And the Komets take over. It is Elynuik to the right side at center ice. Hits the line with Chin and Rob Murphy. Elynuik drifting right side. Centered. Went wide. Picked up. Hit drive. Went wide. It came to the near boards. It's gobbled up by Murphy. Moving right side. Murphy skating well behind the net. Wrap around. And I think Dobson may have gotten a piece of the puck. To the near side it came. Berg trying to shovel it. Came to Elynuik. Right in on goal. The shot stopped by Dobson. Loose puck. Right on it. Dobson cleared that. Now Jakes turns it around. Jakes up the boards. A pass too far for Kelly Hurd, and the Komets are there. Evans ripped one into the Aero zone. Just over 3 minutes gone in the third period. A 2-0 hockey game. Shafronov fighting for a loose puck. It's in the slot. Here's the chance. Stopped in front. It never made it to Dobson. And Bob Berg takes over for Houston and clear to center. It is Guy Dupuis trying to shovel the puck ahead. It's picked up by Laniel. It hit a high stick, and we will take a timeout. 2-0 Komets. 16:29 to go. Back after this, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines. We're 3.5 into the third period. Komets lead at 2-0. Southwest Airlines and Prime Sports would like to welcome the lucky winner of the 1995 Southwest Airlines Year of Sports Sweepstakes to tonight's game. Tom Bresna of Dallas, Texas is enjoying tonight's Aeros game, and throughout the past year he has attended various sporting events all throughout the Prime Sports region. Congratulations, Tom, and keep watching Prime Sports for our next promotion to be announced. Aeros trail 2-0. Hurlbut has it off the face-off, and the Aeros quickly come to center ice. Gord Krupke's dumped the puck in, but it was taken back by Kevin Wortman, and he'll just fire it off the boards. It's back into Houston Aero territory. It will be icing if Hurlbut gets there. Hustling behind that, he did get there, and icing is the call. 2-0 Fort Wayne. 16-16 to go in the third, and Mike Hurlbut's the guy that obviously is finding himself a home on the Aero defense, you know, after such a bad accident. It seems like that's behind us now, and Mike Hurlbut's playing some terrific hockey on the blue line for Houston.
He certainly has. The goal and 2 assists on Friday. He's shown that he's in here to do what he is brought in to do, and that is help with the point totals offensively. And he's seeing a lot of time on that power play. He's got that big-time slap shot, and it's good to see him really playing well. The Aeros will need him.
Face-off in the circle to the right side of Bob Essensa. Al Conroy, Graham Townsend, Mike Maurice with Mike Hurlbut and Gord Krupke. Colin Chin to take the draw against Al Conroy. Sticks down, drop of the puck. Chin wins the draw, but picked up by Townsend. Townsend looped it into the corner, trying to move it ahead. Townsend drifting back to the point, shoveled it through skates to the line. Aeros held it in. Chipped down by Krupke. Conroy trying to gather it in, but Shawn Cronin is there, and the Aeros trying to hold it in. They did. A bouncing puck, though, gobbled up by Colin Chin, and the Komets are out at center ice. Chin left side at center. Shoots the puck into the Aeros zone. After it, McBain, right side, centered one. It was batted away. Chris Winnis trying to work one down. It was picked away by Conroy. Here comes Conroy to center. Conroy hits the line with Maurice. Conroy trying to center one. Maurice turning, shooting, stopping in the center, and the puck was cleared. Now back is Miles O'Connor. At neutral ice for Gord Krupke. Pushed it ahead for Conroy. Now a chance, Townsend trying to feather Maurice. Maurice right side, couldn't find the puck. Paul Willett in behind the net. Worked on by Townsend. Skates away from the check, gives to Winnis. Up the boards, not out. It's held in. Donnelly, long shot, blocked by Stoss. Komets trying to clear, cannot, but a second effort, they'll bring it out. Paul Willett. It was tipped away, though, by Maurice. And Chris Winnis is there. Ripped the puck into the Aero zone. Glove save by Dobson. Donnelly turning into his own end. Donnelly in behind the net. He plays peekaboo with Paul Willett. Donnelly, long pass up the middle for Slivchenko, but he had to go back and regroup in his own end. Here is Vadim. Slivchenko with some room to wheel. Slivchenko at center. Slivchenko hits the line, dropped it for Freer. Arniel right in, but it was tipped away by Straub. Puck in the corner. Straub has it, and he'll move it up the ice for Pat Elynuik. Elynuik at center. Up the neutral ice area into the Aero zone. Puck goes in behind the net. Stopped by Dobson. Came out to play it. It's won ahead to Arniel. And here is Freer across the line. Freer looking in front for Slivchenko, but a pass too hard. Slivchenko trying to gather it in from Shafronov. Slivchenko in the corner. Had it taken away by Shafronov, and the Komets are out at center ice. Sean Evans give the pass to Elynuik. Hits the line. Looked in front for Evans. Aeros clear it. Freer trying to get it ahead for Slivchenko, and Evans is there. Sean Evans, forecheck by Freer with 6 minutes gone in the third, and the Aeros are still down 2-0. Evans worked it into the Aero zone. Out of the net, Dobson. Here is Kelly Hurd in his own end. Forecheck by Alex Nikolic. Up ice, it's Hurd. Here come the Aeros. Hurd speeding across the line, cutting right in, but then couldn't get a shot away. Hurd centered, but it was too far for Jakes. Jakes had to go back to get it, and his pass was intercepted by McBain. Aeros just can't get it going here offensively in the third. Puck goes into the Aero end. Out of the net, Dobson. He'll slow behind the cage, and Marc Laniel is there. Laniel jammed it ahead. Oh, almost turned over, but it got through Willett. Now Lamb tripped up on the play, and a penalty coming up to the Fort Wayne Komets. 13.5 to go, 2-0 in favor of Fort Wayne.
Well, good job by Lamb staying with that, as Nikolic gets a little too much of the leg on Lamb and hauls him down. Nikolic was signaling to the referee, dive, but it wasn't enough of one to, at least to get referee Auger to call it a dive. He calls it, looks like, tripping.
It's time to look up the penalty from the high-low rule book, and I think they called hooking. I thought they might be tripping. I'll tell you what. We'll say that it's tripping.
It could be either one. Could be either one, I think.
All right. Well, tripping is when a player uses a stick, his arm or leg to cause an opponent to trip or fall.
And you know, tripping is exactly the same as hooking. The tripping is the lower part of the body, and the upper half would be a hook. And you know what? That might be a hook.
It is.
It's a hook.
It's called a hook.
So let's quickly read the high-low rule book on hooking. It's when a player uses a sticker blade to hook an opponent up above the waist.
Yes. So I mean, it's a close call there as he hooked him around the hip area, and he hauled him down. It doesn't matter which way you look at it.
It's a 2-minute minor.
It's a 2-minute minor, and the Aeros will be on the power play, and they need this one right here, Adam. You talk about big power plays. This one is it.
All right. Here is Marc Lamb, left side, back to the line. Hurlbut shot stop, loose in front, and it was gobbled up by Andy McBain, and he'll move it out at center ice and into the Aero zone. Now back out of the net, Dobson flings it up the boards. Freer trying to get there, and he'll start it up again. Freer, a pass for Hurlbut with 1:40 to go on the power play. Ripped it into the Fort Wayne zone. Arniel after it. Arniel's got it in the corner. Here is Scott Arniel. Him behind the net, and Shawn Cronin takes it away and shoots it the length of the ice. Back to play it is Dobson. Now Hurlbut's got it in behind the net. 1:22 to go in the penalty to Nikolic. Here is Freer. Shot it into the Fort Wayne zone. That was rejected by Chris Winnis. And now it is Hurlbut again. The pass too far. Goes back into the Fort Wayne zone, but Brian Straub is there. The Aeros making changes. And the power play quickly dwindling as we're down to 1 minute and that. Here is Marc Lamb. He'll bring it up ice. Lamb across the line. Ooh, that nearly looked offside, but it was good. Here is Lamb, right side, back to the line for Conroy. Getting set on the power play. Conroy, pass over to Lamb. Waiting. Lamb looking for the shot. Now cuts in, shoots, and that was wide of the net. Puck with all the momentum will carry him back out at center ice. Here come the Houston Aeros. It is Marc Lamb. A pass for Al Conroy. Pushed it into the Fort Wayne zone. Essensa slowed it. Now it is Guy Dupuis tied up on the play. Kelly Hurd fighting for it. Couldn't get to it. He was upended on the play. Now back along the boards to the line. O'Connor winding shooting. Ricocheted wide of the net. Back to the line again. Conroy right point. Takes a bump from Willett. 11:45 to go. Aeros still trail 2-0 and they're back at center ice. Power play down to 15 seconds. O'Connor to Conroy. Into the Fort Wayne zone. No, it's knocked away. Now they'll try it again. And Essensa will slow. Dupuis, a pass for Willett, goes into the Aero end. And Freer will play it. Tipped it off the board. The Aeros making changes, and now it's Mike Hurlbut. The Aeros had 6 men out there, but they got away with it. Dave Farish wanted a penalty for too many men on the ice, and I think he may have had just cause. The Aeros had 6 guys out there for a second. Elynuik looped one ahead for Shafronov. Puck came out in front, and it's taken back by Hurlbut. Here comes Arniel. 2-on-2 with Hurlbut. Arniel across the line, moving in, but then had to regroup and push it along the boards, and Sean Evans takes over. Evans, a pass for Rob Murphy. He'll bring it across the Aero line. Murphy tees it up, shoots it. That one off the skates of Hurlbut, and he felt that one missing a little bit after he took that off the blade. Now it's Murphy behind the net. Centered one, right in. Elynuik the shot. Blocker save Dobson. Rebound back to the near side. Elynuik a drive. That was blocked again by Hurlbut. So Hurlbut taking a page out of Gord Donnelly's book. Now the puck in the corner on the near side of Dobson. And it's Mark Freer that'll meander up and out of the zone. A long pass, knocked away Evans, and Slivchenko will regroup. Here is Vadim Slivchenko. Lost the puck, but it's picked up by Freer. And the Aeros again sputter there, and it's taken away by the Komets. Here's a drive by Colin along the left side. And McBain in behind the net, and that's scooped up by Dobson. He'll hold on, and we take time out. 2-0, the Komets lead it. And we'll be right back after this.
Back at the Summit, 2-0 Komets lead the Aeros as the Aeros still try to get on the board, but a good job defensively by the Aeros and Rob Dobson, as the next goal is really going to make the difference, and Dobson doesn't want it to be the third on him as he gets a good blocker on that one, and eventually the puck's cleared. But yes, the next goal in this game will tell a lot as Dobson tries to stay strong for his Houston Aeros.
Face off to the right side of Rob Dobson, and the Aeros fighting for it. Jake's in the corner. Colin takes a bump from Jake's, and he will fall on top of it. And that should bring the face-off out at center ice. As the Aeros out shooting Fort Wayne 36-25. They're even, though, in the third period at 5 apiece. But look at the second period numbers in Houston out shooting Fort Wayne 20-7 in that second period. They need to pick that up again here in the third.
Well, those 20 shots tied a team record for shots in one period at 20. The last time they had that many shots in one period was versus Cleveland, October 5th, and you're right, another 20 this period couldn't hurt their cause, that's for sure.
Lamb with Berg and Kelly Hurd. Defensively, Laniel and Jakes. Brian Straw worked one to the right side at center for Stas, but Laniel thwarts that. Now a chance for Kelly Hurd, speeding right side, but nice poke check by Stas. Winnis and Hurd shoulder to the far boards, and here come the Komets at center ice. McBain across the line. He was knocked off the puck, and Bob Berg came up ice. The Aeros got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Berg, a pass right side for Hurd, getting set, winding, shooting. Essensa was there, and he will hold on. I don't think there was much that Kelly Hurd could do. He was at a sharp angle, and I don't think his pass would have made it to Marc Lamb, and we've got an injured Houston Aero.
Well, I think it looks like, I think it's Valimont. I can't quite.
No, it's Laniel, and remember, he's had the shoulder.
Well, I don't think it's a shoulder that he's whole. I think he's down on the ice regardless. He went sliding into the board, so it could very well be his shoulder, as him and McBain ran into each other and slid into the boards, but it looked like Laniel stepped on the puck and then slid into the corner, and it looks like his ankle. That's right, yeah. when you hit the boards there, and that's all he needs is another injury. He had his shoulder and now his leg.
You know what, in all the years that I've been doing hockey, I've never been covered a team that has had so many injured guys. We talked about coming into tonight's game, 109 man games missed to injury, and Laniel just got back tonight, and we don't know what the extent of this is.
Well, you know what it is, and I think, like I said, I think he stepped on the puck as the puck goes into the sideboards there, and he just falls down. And you know what? That's not his ankle, that's his knee. And you can see, if you're watching the game on Prime Sports, you see him go down and twist his knee a bit there, and that always hurts. And he'll take a little bit of a rest and get some ice on that knee, as you can see him icing it. I don't like to see that, I tell you, and you're right. And the thing is, you know, most of these players are in very good condition. A lot of times injuries are caused because of lack of conditioning. The Aeros are in good shape.
Yeah, they are. Here is a puck that goes into the Houston Aeros zone. Dobson slows for Donnelly. It's chipped to the near side, but Messier got it back. It was centered, but Maurice is there. And here come the Houston Aeros. At center to the left side, it is Miles O'Connor. Rip one right on, and Essensa, leaning to the right, perhaps cheating a little bit, but reached over to his left and made a nice stop on Miles O'Connor. So Milo kind of trying to keep Essensa honest in the slot there.
Well, the thing is, you take a shot like that, and it was a good low shot, and I'm sure Essensa didn't want to kick it to the corner, so he decides to glove it. And a good hard shot like that is not really going to score, but I think he just wanted to keep control of it. It looked a little more serious than it was, I'm sure, as Essensa has been more than solid this game, making 37 saves tonight. With 9:14 left, he's pitching one right now.
Face off to the right side of Essensa. Conroy with Townsend and Maurice again. Go Connor defensively with Gord Donnelly. Colin Chin to take the draw as they line up again to the right side of Essensa. 9:14 to go in the third period, and Fort Wayne leading it 2-0. Sticks are down, dropping the puck. Conroy wins the faceoff. Kicked it to Maurice, left side. Meandering down the left side, trying to center one. Here's a chance for Donnelly. Right side, looped it for Conroy, trying to get through the check of Dupuis. Maurice centered, but Townsend couldn't get a shot away. It's Colin Chin. Skates to the right side. The pass for Rob Murphy. Up the left wing at center. It hits the line to Elynuik. Back for Evans. Wide shoots. Dobson kicked that out of there, but back to the line. Shafronov. Long shot right on. Dobson save. Loose in the slot. And Conroy was belted off the puck, but he got it out of harm's way. Into the corner. O'Connor and Elynuik fight for the loose puck. In there it goes behind the net. Shafronov waiting, back to the line. Dupuis tees it up. Shoots. Go. Did that go? Oh, I thought that went in.
Hit the post. Wow, that deflected off the post, and Dobson finally finds it behind him.
Oh boy, no iron deficiency on that one. 2-0 Komets will bring you the final 8:32 after this.
Back at the Summit, 2-0 Komets, almost 3-0. Do you think this one hits the post? Listen. As shot comes from the point. Wow, that's a goaltender's best friend right there, is the goal post, and Dobson gets a good break there. So do the Aeros. It's still 2-0, not out of reach.
That was the sound that was made when the puck hit me in the head. Here's Chris Winnis, who shoots one into the corner.
I didn't know Wood sounded like that.
Oh, Greener, I set you up there. Here's Hurlbut to the right side for Slivchenko, and it's out at center ice.
Now at the neutral ice, Slivchenko ran into Straub and back to play it. It's controlled by Kevin Wortman. He's out at center to the left side for Winnis, chipped away by Hurlbut. Now Slivchenko. Time slowly becoming a factor. Slivchenko barreling down the left side, shoots. Well, didn't get much on it. Wortman got a piece of it. Straub to Winnis. Hurlbut was pinching. Chin trying to clear. He will not. Slivchenko held it. Feathers for Arniel. Back Slivchenko. Right in. Here's the chance. Hurlbut shoots. Stop the center. They bang away at the rebound. And Essensa is down and covering up as Marc Freer was banging away at it in front, but couldn't get it by Bob Essensa with 7:46 to go in the third, and the Komets still lead 2-0.
It looked like the Aeros were unsure of who was going to take this puck. Eventually, the puck is shot on goal, and the rebound just covered up again as Slivchenko gets it. Hurlbut gets it, goes back to Hurlbut, Arniel, and then Hurlbut finally gets it on goal, and Freer just can't get around McBain, who's standing there, and a lot of Komets around to help out Essensa cover that one up. The Aeros just haven't been able to catch a break tonight.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Bob Essensa. If you want to know how many goals he's let in, just multiply your body weight times 0. Lamb, Conroy, Hurd with O'Connor, and now Carl Valimont will take his first shift of the night at defense. I'm surprised they haven't used him as well. I thought he was very effective the other night, but evidently Dave Tippett wants to utilize him when he can, go with the guys that have been getting it done, but now he'll put Valimont at a right point. Here is Guy Dupuis in behind the net, watched by Conroy. Puck came to the near side. There's Cronin, worked it ahead to Murphy. The knockback Hurd, it'll go to the far side. Conroy after it. Dupuis beat him to the puck, but Conroy rides him into the corner. Here is Shawn Cronin in his own zone as the Komets break out with it. Cronin at center ice. Cronin fired the puck into the Aeros zone. Dobson slowed and then shot it over to Kelly Hurd. Hurd jammed one near side. Dupuis worked it right back into the Houston Aeros zone. Dobson slowed it. Here comes Miles O'Connor. The pass ahead for Mark Lamb. He'll bring it up ice with Hurd and Conroy. Lamb hits the line. Lamb making the move, but he was belted by Cronin. Nice defensive play there, and Essensa will cover up, and he will hold on.
Good job there, as we've seen a good physical play defensively by the Komets, and that's why they have not allowed a goal yet tonight. Some good hitting and good defensive work keeping them outside, and a lot of the shots coming from the outside, and then there was just no rebounds. As Lamb comes down, he makes a good move, but Cronin stands him up, throws him down, and a good job in front on Kelly Hurd as well, keeping him out of the way, and the puck just slides into Essensa, and Essensa covers that one up.
Face off to the left side of Bob Essensa. And it is Maurice against Colin Chin with 7 minutes remaining. Puck is back to the line. Here is Mike Hurlbut. Right point, lets his shot go right on, and Essensa again makes the save as Maurice was kind of crowding him a little bit. 6:57 to go in the third, and a 2-0 hockey game. And they'll face it off once again. It'll be Rob Murphy against Mike Maurice. So Maurice centering a line with Scott Arniel. And Vadim Slivchenko sticks down, drop of the puck. Murphy wins the draw. And it'll go to the far side for Straub. And it's shot ahead into the Aeros zone. Hurlbut trying to get it out of there, cannot do it. Down the left side, it is Elynuik trying to drift one in behind the Aero cage, and now it is Scott Arniel, watched by Shafronov. And here is Marc Laniel, flushed out of there by Shafronov, and he'll move it up ice. Laniel scampers to center. Quick pass off the skates of Slivchenko. Into the corner it goes. Straub taken to the corner by Slivchenko. Poked away by Maurice. Loose puck fished out of there by Elynuik, and he'll move it out to center. Right side pass for Evans, trying to chip it ahead for Shafronov. Back was O'Connor. He'll gather it in as he heads behind the net. Miles O'Connor spins one over to Laniel, and the Aeros will regroup and bring it out. 6:10 remaining, and the Aeros down by 2. Here's a pass at center. It is Kelly Hurd trying to move it up the right side. He dumped the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Essensa slowed it. Give it to Wortman, and the Komets will shoot it the length of the ice. Carl Valimont chased the puck down as he moves in behind the net. Long pass to the line and out at center. There's Kevin Wortman trying to jam the puck ahead, and O'Connor takes back at his own blue line, and here is Carl Valimont again. Valimont
Into the Fort Wayne zone. Chasing it down is Winnis. He's watched by Conroy. Loose behind center. The shot. A marvelous chance by Hurd, and he missed the net again. That's twice he's had a great chance and just missed the net. Here's a 2-on-1 the other way. Willett for Fort Wayne. Struck it back. Messier. Deke shoots. Stopped by Dobson. Wow, what a save there. Maybe the one that'll hold the Arrows in it. Puck came down into the Fort Wayne zone, and Darren Smith is there. Smith to the left side, Evans. Back for Smith at the left side at center ice. Goes into the Arrow zone. Dobson slowed with 5:06 remaining. Bob Berg trying to get it out of there. Laniel sends it over to Hurlbut. Pass Townsend tipped away, but the Arrows are at center. And now a pass. Freer led Berg too far. After it, Berg, he gets there. Berg centered, but Hurlbut couldn't get there in time. Oh, the Arrows were close, but an overeager Mark Freer just missing Bob Berg. Now Freer digs the puck out. Berg fighting for it. It's fished out by Elynuik. Jammed back to the line. Hurlbut the drive. That hit skates. Elynuik turning, and he'll move it out at center ice. Now Rob Murphy trying to move the puck ahead, and it was pushed away by Laniel. Laniel to Berg. And the Arrows trying to advance it. Here is Laniel. Push the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Essensa. Give it to Kevin Wortman, and away the Komets come. Pass off the boards. It's out at center ice. Jumped on by Valimont. Shot into the Fort Wayne zone. Here's a chance for Slivchenko. Slivchenko right side, making the move. Wheeling, dealing. Puck came in and hit the skates of Maurice. And we'll take a timeout. Essensa makes a save. 4:04 to go. And we're in the third. Komets lead it 2-0. So the Arrows with some chances, and Slivchenko, a nice play along the right side.
Well, Slivchenko's played a pretty strong game, and he centers one. It goes off the skate of McBain, but then once again, Essensa's able to cover that up, and I'm sure that Slivchenko's saying, why didn't I walk in and shoot that one? And Dobson makes a great save right here. A beautiful skate save. The puck actually comes out in behind him to the other side, as walking in all alone with a great chance was Mitch Messier.
Face off to the left side of Essensa. Lamb, Arniel, and Hurd. 41-28 right now, as statistician Neil Wilkins pointing out the shots on goal. Puck is controlled by Brian Straub, and it is McBain along the near side. Kelly Hurd trying to knock that away, and here is McBain. He'll move it up at center ice, and down the ice it'll go. Here is Mike Hurlbut, chased it back into his own zone. Hurlbut pursued by Winnis. Here is Hurlbut to the near side, fired one out of the left side to neutral ice. Arniel trying to gather it in. Arniel bumped by Colin Chin. Chin's got him tied up. And here is Laniel. Right side. Shoots it into the Fort Wayne zone. That'll bounce to the left side of Essensa. The Komets are there. Wortman cleared to the line, not out. Hurlbut held one in, trying to bounce one in there. A chance for the Komets to clear Wortman, but picked away by Lamb. Here's Hurlbut left side. Worked it down into the corner for Marc. He's belted by Wortman, but now Kelly Hurd. Give it to Lamb. Getting set in the corner. He centered one, but it came right to Chris Winnis, and he will move it at center ice. Winnis fired it ahead for Messier. He'll move in on goal, makes the move, but Hurlbut makes a good defensive play to get it off the skate, and he'll clear it. Arrows left side. Al Conroy, get it back to Hurlbut. Worked ahead, now Slivchenko a chance. That's a two-line pass though, and they'll bring the face-off back into the Houston Aeros zone. Calling all new recruits, the Houston Aeros want you for a group outing. Just bring a group of 20 or more friends and you'll receive a discount on tickets, a welcome at the game, merchandise discounts, and a chance to win great prizes twice a year. It's in our group sweepstakes. You can win. You can also bring a group of 42 people to the game on the Aero bus. For more information, call 627-AERO. Join the Aero Force. It's the American way. And there is a group of people enjoying the game. Boy, I'll tell you, the kids, that is the big draw for the Houston Aeros.
You think they'd enjoy a ride on the Aero bus? We get to ride that thing. We got the bus to the airport every time.
That's right.
Have you enjoyed it yet? I haven't seen you on it.
I've ridden it once. I usually have to go up on my own. I don't know. I guess I'm just not a team guy, right?
Well, you can't miss it. It's painted in Aero colors. And
now Slivchenko speeding down the left side. Centered! Conroy trying to get a chance. That's knocked away. Slivchenko along the near boards. Sets up along the left wing. Centered. Here's Maurice, the drive. Had a little too much loft on that. Valimont right side. Dupuis turned it away. It's picked up by Darren Smith and shot the length of the ice. So Mike Maurice with a little too much loft. Look like he had his new Titleist DCIs going there. Is blocked right over the net, and that'll be an icing call on the Houston Aeros.
So Miles O'Connor having a pretty good game as Dave Tippett tries to pull out all stops here. Going to try and send someone out. There's only 2:16 remaining in this third period. You got Arniel coming out with his Hurd. Slivchenko, I believe, might be coming out as well. And Slivchenko on that last play just losing the handle and trying to feed it across. Good defensive play in front by Dupuis as Conroy is on the doorstep. And so the Aeros still can't find the twine. And Arniel is out there right now. Check that with Lamb and Hurd, and Hurlbutt on the point with Laniel. And I'd like to see Hurlbutt get a hold of a couple more shots and feed them in there, and maybe get someone in front of that net to jam away a rebound if they can find one.
Face-off in the circle to the left side of Bob Essensa. Lamb, Arniel with Kelly Hurd. Defensively, Laniel and Hurlbutt. Aeros down by 2 with 2:16 remaining. Komets win the draw. Shawn Evans looped it along the boards. It's going to be held in by Hurlbutt. Ooh, he had Kelly Hurd alone behind him, but instead dumped it into the corner. Here is Shawn Evans, chipped one ahead, and Elynuik will clear, but not out. Held in by Hurd, spanked it back into the corner. Arniel fights for it. He's taken to the boards by Straw. Lamb to the near side. Lamb trying to move one out in front. He was belted by Chin. Now Laniel, a shot went wide. Hurlbutt pinching, 1:50 to go. Dobson still in the game right now as the puck centered. Oh, a chance for Hurlbutt. And now Elynuik off to the races. Elynuik with Murphy, centered. Murphy right in on goal, and he was worked away. Here's a chance in front. Blocked. Another centering attempt is cleared. Great play by the Aeros, and they'll clear it out of harm's way. Wow, 1.5 to go. Here comes Kelly Hurd at center. Hurd hits the line, trying to split the D. It was swatted away. And now it is Shawn Evans, jammed one into the corner for Murphy, or McBain rather. Here is O'Connor tied up in there. Townsend trying to throw his weight into the battle, and he'll have it near corner. In behind the net, Freer, waiting, comes out. Backhander was tipped away at the last second by Wortman. Shafronov is there as Dobson's to the bench. Extra attacker for Houston. O'Connor ripped it in, so it's 6 on 1. Got an empty net. They need 2 goals. Evans, the length of the ice, just wide, but it will be O'Connor that'll play it, and icing is the call.
Actually, that I don't know if that should be icing or not, as it did go through the crease.
Yeah, but I think when the goalie's pulled.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
because I've always thought it was still ice or still waved off, but good thing for the Aeros as they go for the long shot. Tried to win the $1 million puck there.
Yeah, and I don't like that rule. I think it should be the same whether the goalie's in there or not. I mean, you don't give the Aeros any special gifts there, and that shouldn't be an icing call. But anyway, it is going to be a timeout now as Dave Tippett will utilize his 30-second timeout and try and get something going. I mean, when you're talking about 2 goals in 52 seconds, if you can win a face-off here, and the Aeros have done pretty good on the face-offs, they can win one here and get a quick shot, maybe a goal, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're only down by 1. But obviously, they're going to have to do it quickly.
They are going to have to do it quickly as Dave Tippett diagrams a play, and you never know. He might be getting Townsend, who's already on the ice, out there to play some in front like we talked about.
Don't forget to join us again Wednesday, February 14th for more IHL hockey action when the Houston Aeros take on the Minnesota Moose. Well, if it's Valentine's Day, I guarantee you will not be a love affair. The Aeros will have to slow down center Stefan Moran, who leads the Moose in all offensive categories. And he's also, I think, still leading the golf tournament about 25 under par. That's Houston and Minnesota Wednesday, February 14th on Prime Sports and on 950 Super Talk Radio. That's KPRC. Valentine's Day. What are you going to get, Amy?
Oh, if I told you, she's watching the game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, don't. Tell me afterwards. I'll tell you what, Bob Essensa may have his Valentine's gift coming early.
Yeah, and he's given it to himself, too, because he has played fantastic. His defensemen have played well in front of him, but he's made some great saves and covered up that rebounds real well.
It's not even Valentine's Day, and maybe what he's thinking is Easter with the big goose egg. He leads it 2-0. Face off to his right. Conroy, Hurd, Arniel, Slivchenko, Hurlbutt, and Lamb. 5 forwards. And Hurlbutt, who is a very good offensive defenseman. Aeros win the draw. Hurlbutt's got a chance. Shoots. Ricochet. Puck came down. A chance for Hurd. Centered. Knocked away by Chin. He'll bank it off the boards. Not out. Held in. No, it was bounced away by Willett. And the Aeros have to regroup. 40 seconds to go. Willett takes the puck away. Empty net. He will score. And it is a 3-0 Comet lead. And that will be the hockey game.
So Willett gets his 18th goal of the season in fine fashion as he picks up the puck, steals it, and then just dumps it into the open net. So the Komets take the 3-0 lead in this game with 34 seconds left. The puck was bouncing, and you know what? I guess in Marc Lamb's defense, they couldn't really get a hold on it as they had a lot of pressure on them right as the puck was dumped out to the center ice area, and really didn't have any help or anybody to give the puck to, and Willett knocks it off his stick and dumps it in the open net.
This will be Bob Essensa, unless the Aeros can get a goal here. This will be Bob Essensa's first shutout this season, and he will now go to 6-5 on the road, 14-6-2 overall. It is Steve Jakes at center, ripped the puck into the Fort Wayne zone, and back to play it is Mitch Messier, trying to turn it up the right side, bumped by Berg. In there fighting for it, Berg's got it, centered, the shot stopped by Essensa, so he was tested there. And 10 seconds remaining. It looks like Essensa will have his shutout. Here is Carl Valimont in his own zone, a quick pass to Berg. And that is the hockey game. The buzzer sounds, and the Houston Aeros will not pick up a win. They needed really to get 4 points, and they come away with 1. They get nothing tonight. They had the 1 point last night, or Friday night against Fort Wayne. But now it really makes tomorrow's contest a very big one against the Atlanta Knights. So we'll talk about that when we return. The Komets win it by a score of 3-0, and we'll be back at the Summit right after this. Final tonight at the Summit, the Aeros fall to the Fort Wayne Komets by a score of 3-0. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and well, I'll tell you, again, the defensive coverage tonight was terrific, but you know, you look at this team and wonder why there are certain nights the offense just can't get it going, and tonight was a classic case of that.
It certainly was. It was a tough game as far as breaks were concerned. The Aeros just couldn't find one. And you know, when you put that much effort into the offense and you get that many chances and you still can't catch a break, it's frustrating. And it didn't seem like their frustration showed till near the end of the game because they were getting some great chances, but near the end of the game, it just seemed like they really couldn't get by that Fort Wayne defense after a while.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of credit has to go to Fort Wayne. They played some terrific defense really in both games, even though you look at a 5-4 game Friday. This was definitely a defensive battle. Bob Essensa clearly the difference in this hockey game, but on the other side of things, outside of the one goal that fluke one at the start, I think Rob Dobson played a pretty strong hockey game as well.
Well, sure he did. You look at some of the saves he was asked to make. He made some of the big saves that you ask your goaltender to make. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if Dobson stopped 2 of the 3, you still lose 1-0. So I mean, you need those extra goals, I guess, earlier on in the game to help your team out.
You know what? Dave Tippett made a really good point, and I think it's a point that you have to kind of take out of this, and that is, you know, at this point, as long as our goaltending is giving us a chance to win, and if our hockey team keeps us in a chance to win, he has to be at least semi-pleased. Again, the offense wasn't there, but at least the hockey team with their defensive play gave the team a chance to win.
Well, certainly, it wasn't a case where the Aeros got blown out or outworked. I mean, they outshot Fort Wayne tonight and had 42 shots. That's definitely enough chances to win, but couldn't get the puck by Bob Essensa, who did all the right things, and credit his defenseman as well.
All right, and you know, we were talking about that fluke goal by Konstantin Shafronov. That is our Gatorade play of the game. It started off for the Fort Wayne Komets in the first.
Well, the puck is centered, and Dobson trying to chip the puck away, I think deflected it into Conroy's skates, and it went off Conroy's skate right back between the legs of Rob Dobson. I think that kind of set the tone of the way things were going to go for the Aeros this afternoon.
Yeah, kind of the story this afternoon, and that is your Gatorade play of the game. And now it's time for our Texaco star of the game, and no doubt about who that is, Bob Essensa. 42 saves, 42 shots, gets the shutout. His first shutout this season. 14-6-2 his record is right now, and I'll tell you, you get Bob Essensa playing well. The Fort Wayne Komets are going to be a team to contend with, I think, as you run down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Well, the Fort Wayne Komets have been a team that always seem to be blessed with good goaltending, and I'm sure having Bob Essensa there is really going to help them as he makes some good saves tonight, and like this one on Steve Jakes from the point, just didn't seem to give up any kind of chances that the Aeros could really capitalize on.
And Bob Essensa is standing by with us. And, you know, Bob, I guess, you know, you think about it, 42 saves is a lot of work, but from our standpoint, it seemed like you were not giving up many rebounds tonight. You played a terrific hockey game.
Well, I think our defense did a great job in front of me as well. You know, you can't give enough credit to them. You know, they cleared the guys out in front. They allowed me to see the first shot, and, you know, when I did give up a bad rebound, they were there to clear it. And, you know, anytime in this league you only give up, you know, you give teams only one chance at scoring, it, you know, it really helps in the goals against department.
Bob, one thing I think about when I think of the Fort Wayne Komets and what I've seen in the previous meetings is character. There is a lot of character on this hockey club.
Well, we definitely do. I think that, you know, we have an older team. We have guys that have been around a little bit, some guys that have played some NHL. You know, I think that's going to help us down the stretch and into the playoffs. I think you mentioned it earlier. Our team is a good playoff team. I think that, you know, we've had to play playoff hockey all year. We're not going to go out and score 6, 7 goals every night. We have to play good defense and win those 3-2, 2-1 hockey games.
Bob, you took a little trip, I'd say a little while ago. You went back to the Adirondack Red Wings. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why that happened?
Well, they had some injury problems down there. Detroit had some injury problems as well, and I got to spend my All-Star break going down to Glens Falls and playing a few games. It was interesting. I got to see. I haven't played in that league for you know, 7 or 8 years, so it's interesting to see how it's changed.
You know, one thing I noticed about the hockey club tonight, and it seems like different nights, different guys there. Friday night, I thought the play of Chris Winnis was terrific. Kevin Wortman on the blue line played very well as you did. Tonight, it was Rob Murphy and Konstantin Shafronov.
Well, I think every game somebody different steps up for us, which is kind of nice. And you know, we've had a pretty good run of it here in the last month or so, and hopefully, you know, we can use this this next week and the week after as a stepping stone into the playoffs.
All right, Bob, again, a terrific game tonight, 42 saves. You're our Texaco star of the game. Congratulations. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, Bob Essensa, he's a terrific goaltender, longtime NHL veteran. He played a lot of years with the Winnipeg Jets and then was, of course, traded last year to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for Tim Sevelday, and now he's part of the Fort Wayne Komets, and he is definitely someone that you're going to have to contend with if you want to get through Fort Wayne. 3-0, the final tonight, and we'll wrap things up when we return. It's a final from the Summit. The Aeros fall to the Fort Wayne Komets by a score of 3-0, and we'll take a look at tonight's final stats, and they're brought to you by your local Dodge dealers. Look at the shots on goal, 42-29. The Aeros outshoot the Komets but cannot get a goal by Bob Essensa. Aeros go 0 for 4 on the power play. The Komets 1 of 2 on the power play, and a comment on that, Greener, as far as that goes, just 2 power play chances. You need good discipline. The Aeros obviously had that this evening.
They certainly did, and you know, we talked about how specialty teams. I talked to Dave Tippett about that before the game, and he said, yeah, you got to be disciplined, especially against a team like the Komets, who just never give up.
So the Aeros 4 penalties for 11 minutes, and the Komets 6 penalties as well. And I guess now you look at the way things went tonight. The Aeros needed to find some guys to dig down deep, and we decided we were going to keep a track of ice times. And our statistician Kimberly Johnson points out that Scott Arniel had 7 minutes, 46 seconds in the third, 24 minutes and 12 seconds total ice time. Marc Freer's ice time dropped in the third. He played only 6:33 in that third period, 21 minutes and 57 seconds. But one note on Marc Freer, he had a lot of chances. You know, if this guy can start burying them, look out.
Well, and we talked about that during the game. Marc Freer has had some glorious opportunities, not just tonight and not just on Friday, but he's over the last 3 or 4 or 5 games. He's had some great chances, and we said the important thing here is he is getting those chances. If a player isn't even getting the opportunities, then you're in trouble. But he is getting the chances. He just got to take that extra step, move up to that next level, and put the puck in the net. And he's the kind of guy that can do it. Just let him go, and I'm sure you'll reap the benefits of his work later.
This upcoming week for the Houston Aeros is sort of a telltale week. It will hopefully shed some light on their future going into the playoffs. The Aeros leave tomorrow morning, first thing for Atlanta. They will take on the Atlanta Knights in a rare Monday night affair. That's a game, actually the first 3 games, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Peoria, are all radio only on KPRC, and then the Chicago Wolves is a UPN 20 game as well as KPRC. In fact, Saturday night on ice continues as the Aeros will take on the Chicago Wolves Saturday night at 7:30 from the Rosemont Horizon. But that is a huge road trip for the Houston Aeros with those 4 hockey games. A split is okay, but I think 3-1 is what they need.
I definitely need it, especially after only getting 1 point out of this weekend against Fort Wayne. They're going to have to come up with some big road games, and the Aeros have shown that they can play good road hockey. They're going to have to show it again, especially this. You have 4 games in 6 nights. We talked about fatigue tonight. It's going to be a big factor on the road.
And the thing is, the first 2 games, tomorrow's game against Atlanta and then Wednesday in Cleveland are Central Division battles. And anytime you're in your division, they're obviously 4-point games. They are really, at this point, must-win kind of hockey games.
Oh, certainly. You talked about Atlanta. That's going to be huge. And, I mean, it's paramount. They're going to have to win that game and go from there.
And you were talking about the Atlanta Knights and Peter White from the American Hockey League. This is a different-looking Atlanta Knight hockey club. They are playing some terrific hockey, and they're going to give the Aeros a handful.
Well, they certainly are. I talked to Troy Gamble before the game, and he said, and he on loan to Kansas City. Kansas City was in Atlanta the other night, and he said, wow, this team is different and it's faster, if you can, believe that. They've got Peter White, who was last year the American Hockey League scoring champion, and then you have guys that we always seem to mention, Drulia, Ruff, and Craig, and guys like that. So,
Greener, thanks for your help tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, the final score tonight, the Komets win it by a score of 3-0. The Aeros' next game is tomorrow night against the Atlanta Knights from the Omni. Our next Prime Sports telecast will be Wednesday, February 14th at 7 o'clock when the Aeros take on the Minnesota Moose. Once again, tonight's final score, the Fort Wayne Komets 3, the Houston Aeros 0. For Mike Greenlay, this is Adam Gordon saying good night from the Summit.